You've seen him for years as Hollywood's bad guy on TV and in movies. Now, listen to him right here. Here's your host, the multi-talented Jasper Cole.
Woohoo! All right. Howdy, and welcome to On the Set with Jasper Cole. This would be your host, Mr. Jasper Cole, coming to you live from the historical Sunset Gower Studios right here in Hollyweird, California. This is our monthly Sunday worship service.
Exactly.
We are non-denominational, as everybody knows.
Praise Him. When I was afflicted, good God,
Hallelujah.
I could have fainted.
Hallelujah.
When I started the goodness
Hallelujah.
of Jesus.
TJ
Come one, come all on this. We are calling this show our NAACP show because we have a Cherokee Indian and we're going to have like 3 African Americans.
It's all about the Negroes.
And a Scottish writer
Negroes.
calling in. And those voices that you're hearing that are also in my head. Let's start out with my trusty co-host, my way too gay sidekick, Mr. Ralph Cole Jr.
Hello,
Holla.
Planet Eartha. Hello,
Hey, Ralph.
Jasper. We're back.
We're back.
For another day of
Bring it
frivolity.
down just a little. Bring it.
Just tone it
Yeah,
down.
can
No,
we-
I'm way too big. I'm
wanna-
way too big.
I wanna do
It's got to
another-
be bigger than life.
Bitch, can we do one take where it's real? Just
okay,
one
okay,
time.
okay, take- and back to one.
Back to one. And we're going in a different direction.
And see.
Which would be not your direction. Thank you. But Ralph, how are you?
I am excellent, Jasper. Thank you.
Well, you know, we're on camera, everyone. Smile.
Hey,
Hey.
I am feeling good about my life. My mother Rose,
Rose.
is here. Hello.
Yes,
Rose Cole has become our trusty mascot. Well, she's really the grand dame of the show.
Yeah, she
I know
actually
that's
is.
hard for you to let go of that.
But no, I can give it to her now for the 2 hours, and then
Right,
it's back
and then
to
it's
me.
back to you.
And I'd like to also remind Planet Eartha that today happens to be my half birthday,
Oh,
October
dear
6th.
Jesus,
okay,
God.
and Mama is here. She gave
Oh,
birth to me all
thank you,
those years
Rose.
ago. Thank you for that.
We won't hold it against you. Thank you. His half birthday, because most people would celebrate on the day, but of course, Ralph being so subtle and humbled, he would like to start it 6 months earlier.
Exactly.
Which is very good of you.
Yeah, so it's great to see you again.
Good to see you.
You just drove in from Palm Springs, didn't you?
Allegedly.
Okay. And how is it out
Are
there?
you keeping my schedule?
I like to keep on top of things with you to
thank
make
you,
sure.
Ralph.
Okay, hey, we're
All
good.
right. So anyway, listen, speaking of Butch, we want to bring in our special guest co-host who flew in all the way on the bus from
Tell the troop down. Koreatown.
keeping our NAACP theme going. Honestly, he's one of the busiest working actresses in Hollywood. Please welcome Stephen Grove Malloy.
Yes, work it out.
Thank
Hello,
you.
Stephen.
Hello,
Welcome
Ralph
to our
and
show.
Jasper.
Thank you, buddy, for joining us.
We are very happy to have you as a co-host. Stephen has been a guest on our show before.
Right.
Oh no.
Yes.
But did
Yes,
you
for
get
a hot minute.
Yeah,
For a hot
you've-
minute.
at our
Hot
other
mess
studio.
for a
Yeah, at
hot
the other
minute.
studio, which actually I'm glad we talked today because I think Stephen was heading over to Sunset Bronson
Yes.
had we not intercepted.
Oh, okay.
Forever lost.
Okay, good. Well, yeah, right
very
down to. We're glad you made it. And Stephen and I, being Negroes, were able to get right onto the lot today because there was a whole lot of brouhaha getting in.
Yes.
All the Caucasoids were just waiting in their cars trying to get in. Stephen and I
Caucasoids.
just bolted, breathed,
Well,
breezed up. through
don't get
security.
all sassy because being a Cherokee Indian, they put me right at the top. Also, I walked right up, and this girl, she probably thought, why are you walking on, not driving on? But she was right there with her window down, and she was very upset that I just walked right up to her. And I thought, does she not recognize me?
Exactly.
If she doesn't know who I am, I will cut her.
Had she not seen?
Apparently, she didn't see The Forgotten.
Or who could forget Hansel and Gretel with Dee Wallace?
Or Big Time Rush.
Okay. That I recur on. Yeah.
Okay, there you go again. When will you be back on?
All I need is for the producer to say, you know what, we want to have you back. Then to me, that's a recurring.
Because I feel like if IMDb says it's so, it must be true.
It's true, okay, yeah,
Right?
excellent.
As long as it's listed.
If it's, you did 5, not 4, not 3, not
Bring
2.
it back again.
Not only just 1, but 5 episodes of The
On the
Forgotten.
same day.
On the same. Well, it's like Tyler
It's
Perry.
Tyler
does-
Perry.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Chitlin tour.
Okay.
But who was it? But speaking of food, we did want to say that Entertainment Dish with Dara, I think, may or may not be calling in. You know, she's at Dodger Stadium with the family today.
Okay, with the Scullies.
Yeah,
okay,
she
work it out.
posted that she was about to eat a Dodger dog, and I wrote and said, you know, you can eat it without the bun and not have the carbs.
Oh,
Yeah,
exactly. Well, that's
and
nice.
she's always trying to watch her weight, which I don't really know why, because she's, you know, voluptuous and beautiful.
Well, you know, it's really nice that Jasper baked cookies for your visit today. And
Yes.
I just
Please have one, Stephen.
I just want to show Planet Eartha these
Bring it
delicious
right.
cookies that Jasper made for us today. That's
I
what he
can
does.
cook.
He's a
I
giver.
can do
He's
it
a
all.
baker.
I'm
I
not
know.
just Hollywood's bad guy.
Yeah.
I'm also domestic, right?
Yeah,
Look,
totally.
I'm an actor. I need to know which camera. Is it this camera? That
Your camera is straight in
right
front-
here.
right,
Okay. See,
right.
I don't even know what I'm doing,
That's
which is the
okay.
way I'm always on set.
Right. You do not have to worry about that. Well, speaking of, we need to thank our sponsors
Oh,
before
yeah,
they
let's
pull the
segue-
plug.
Yeah, let's segue into
Imagine
that.
that Productions, Wayman Productions, and Tyrone Artworks. And everyone, please remember to follow us on Twitter at On The Set W Jasper, Facebook On The Set with Jasper Cole, and we have our own website, onthesetwithjaspercole.com. And Ralph, first of all, I want to congratulate you on you and Ronnie Butler Jr., one of our favorite guests, on another show.
Thank
a
you
new
very much.
show called Man Chat.
Man Chat.
How did you get on a show with the title Man in it?
Well, we decided that it's The View. It's
His mom.
Rose knows. She doesn't. Rose is all for it. She doesn't care.
It's The View from a gay man's perspective called Man Chat.
Yes.
And it's Ronnie's brainchild. And we had our first show on Friday at T Radio V Studios. You can track that by going to tradiov.com. They have a whole battery of shows there, as does UBN. So we are going to be broadcasting there weekly on Fridays at 3
Congratulations.
p.m. Thank you for that.
Well, listen. I think we have.
Hello.
It's
This is our
Entertainment
Dara.
Dish with Dara. Yes.
Yes, I'm on site at Dodger Stadium, taking in all the people and
Well, we were just
seeing
talking.
Steve Garvey, and I reapplied lipstick just in case I see him again.
Oh, well, we just
Yes.
talked about you. I mentioned that you mentioned you were going to have a Dodger dog, and I said you could have it without the bun, and it would be just as good.
Yeah, well, I like my carbs, Jasper. You know that.
Okay. Well, so thanks for. So you're live. You're
Ralph,
live.
I'm live. I'm right here in the United Club Suite.
I
Wow.
love
And-
it. Dara, thank you for calling in.
Ralph, I'm sorry that I didn't bring your cake. I'll bring it in November.
Okay, no, that's totally fine. Planet Eartha, Dara was sweet enough. She was going to bring me a half cake today because it's my half birthday.
We already went through that.
Right, but I wanted but
Dara, we already addressed that fiasco,
Yeah, but
so
Planet
we don't
Eartha
really
didn't
need to
know
keep.
that
He's
Dara
going to
was gonna
boomerang
be
it
that
back to
generous.
him.
I will
Well-
bring
We have already discussed your half birthday, which is not non-existent.
Well, no, because I wanted.
Oh,
I wanted
dear.
to. Thank you, Dara. I wanted to include Dara in this story, so that's why. I was
right,
doing
don't pull
that.
her into all your delusion. She's got enough of her own. Right, Dara, say hi to our special co-host Stephen Grove Malloy.
Hi, Dara.
Hi, Stephen.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm sorry I'm not there. I really wanted to be. I thought the game would be earlier, but it's at 5, and of course we had to get here at 8 in the morning.
Oh,
We got here.
I heard
what
a
time
little.
Did you get here, Kevin?
there-
Kevin's here. I'm going to put him on.
Oh,
soon.
great.
Oh, hey, is this the king?
The king. Yeah. Let me have him say hello.
This is Dara's
Oh,
husband.
hi, everybody. How's
Hey,
it going?
Kevin, how are
Hi,
you?
Kevin. Work it out.
How's the game?
Well, the game hasn't started yet, but the atmosphere is really cool. We've been here for a little while, and
Oh yeah, Dara.
it's-
Dara said you were there since 8 in the morning with a certain tone in her voice. So.
yes, we had to come meet her actually.
Oh, okay. Well, I.
First pitch is 5 o'clock.
Oh, okay, great.
And this-
Kevin, thank you for taking the time to say hello to us.
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
you're welcome. Anytime, guys.
So, are we going to predict that the Dodgers are going to make it all the way to the World Series?
Wow,
What-
Jasper. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Dodgers are going to make it to the World Series, but obviously they got to win Game 3 tonight. So.
Okay.
Well, that's going to yeah. They're on a great roll. We have a guest coming up at the top of the hour, Erica Renee Davis, and she has a sports show called HOTTIES Handbook, and it's all women who love sports.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
so I'm sure we're going to get into talking about baseball and the Dodgers and all that good stuff.
Right.
Well, listen, I wish you guys were live in the studio, but I think you're going to have a great time there. So thanks for checking in. And is Dara going to give us some entertainment dish, or is that it for her? Or is she done with us?
I think she's going to give me a little entertainment dish.
Oh, great.
And
Okay.
listen, I miss you guys, and I wish you well.
Thank you,
you, Kevin.
Kevin.
Always.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I hope to see you guys soon. I'm going to hand it over to my better half. You
Okay.
guys take care.
Thanks,
Okay.
Kevin. Take
Bye-bye.
care. That's Kevin Scully.
Isn't he the cutest?
He is the king of the household.
He
Excellent.
is the king.
Yes. Well,
All hail the king.
so speaking of Dara, what is the hottest thing in entertainment right now?
Well, the big buzz is Miley Cyrus hosting Saturday Night Live last night, which we recorded because we're old and we go to sleep early. And we haven't seen it yet, but apparently she bombed in her skits, but
Oh.
she did sing well.
Well, see, I have a whole different. I actually thought she was fierce all the way through. I thought she was amazing.
Oh, okay.
But that's. I
I
thought.
just, my feeling is you don't need to be so trampy to get noticed, but clearly it's working for her. She has the most hits on Twitter and different things like that, so
Listen,
she's getting the attention that she
is
wants.
smart like a fox.
Yeah.
And
Smart like a fox.
she's only 20 years old, and little Hannah Montana, as she said last night in her opening monologue.
That she was murdered.
Well, it was funny. She did. You'll see that, Dara. She said, and as far as that Hannah Montana, she's been murdered, which literally she's saying, I put her to rest.
I know, but I was
See,
surprised.
I have issue with that. When Disney made you a millionaire and put you on the map, I think you need to have a little more respect. But that's just my old-fashioned opinion.
No, I totally see what you're saying. It's kind of like Angus Jones on 2.5 Men is what you're saying.
Yes.
They
yes.
gave him that great form, and then he bashed them. So
Don't bite the hand that fed you.
Yeah, I
Right.
understand what you're saying. I was a little surprised that she would say that Hannah had been murdered because of all.
I mean,
her...
that's pretty drastic. Think about the little kids that still watch the reruns and everything.
Well, exactly.
But
and I
keep
was
in mind, guys, she did that so we'd be talking about it today.
Oh, right.
I mean, she's been
Exactly.
so brilliant in
if
her.
she wants people talking about her, then it's working.
Yeah, in her calculation.
But I did see that the big movie of the weekend was Gravity with $55.5 million.
Oh my God! People are saying Sandra Bullock. Well, first of all, it's her the whole movie. George Clooney's in it for a little while. It's a 2-person movie, and they just said
She's fabulous.
it is beyond anything
She
we've
is
ever
fabulous.
seen in cinema.
Wow.
Yeah.
What
I
did
want
you-
to come back and look just like her.
But Dara, did you see Gravity yet?
I have not seen Gravity because it just came out on Friday, and Kevin was out Friday at the Greek Theater. He saw a band called Further. They're kind of the Grateful Dead leftovers. And then Saturday, he was schlepping up to L.A. to get the tickets from his dad
Allegedly.
in Bel Air. And then last night we just stayed in, and we got up today and kind of got ready to come here, so we would be here 10 hours ahead.
Well, Dara, listen. Before I forget, I brought in our gifts from Rosebud. Rosebud is calling in today.
Oh, thank you, Rosebud. I need to see that.
I know. We're going to open our gifts. Should we do that now, Ralph? So,
yeah, because we can have Rosebud on, and Dara can stay on too, correct?
Oh, I don't know. I think Rosebud is waiting as well.
She's on hold right now. Let's do it with Dara on the phone so we can all see our presents together.
Yeah, well, let's open them, and then we'll talk to Rosebud afterwards.
Oh my! Somebody else is talking over me on the big screen.
Oh, wow. Don't they know who you
It's a
are?
little loud now.
So one of our favorite listeners, Rosebud, has sent us this beautiful card.
She sent us this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rosebud. Is
I'm
there a
opening the
check in
card
there?
now.
Where's the money?
Now, here's what the card says, Dara. Can you hear us?
I cannot hear a thing, guys. I'm going to have to sign out because now they're talking on the big screen.
Okay.
Oh, listen, Dara. Well, thank you. Well, this will
Okay.
be. You can
Thank
watch
you guys.
this.
I'll see you next month.
Okay,
honey,
thanks
have
so
fun,
much.
Dara.
God bless
Okay,
Miley
bye.
Cyrus.
Okay, bye-bye. Oh, great. Let's bring.
It's hard with all the technology.
It's
She's
really-
on. They had the Megatron going, and apparently they don't understand who she is.
But it was really nice that Kevin and her got the time to take off. Everybody, that was Dara Zane Scully
Entertainment dish.
and her husband,
We did
Kevin
get a little
Scully,
dish, a
who-
little dish.
Yeah, and who is the son of Vin Scully.
Yes.
So it's all within the family.
keeping
Now,
it in the family.
Now let's bring Rosebud on.
Vin is the legendary broadcaster, voice of the Dodgers. Yeah, 50 years. He's 83, I think.
Yeah, Mommy, remember we always went to the games and heard Vin Scully. Okay, let's bring Rosebud on.
Just so you know, Ralph is talking to himself. No, his mom is here in the room.
And there's playoffs now.
We're Oh,
No.
dude, we're going to
for
the. We
me?
might. Hell, the Dodgers might be going to the World Series.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
No, they haven't.
It's
started
baseball.
Yet. They
It's
have-
baseball.
What is
But-
baseball? 'Cause
baseball,
apparently,
right.
I need to get myself
Men in
clued
tight
in.
pants,
Men in
tight white pants.
With
They run
stripes.
around.
Pinstripes. Okay,
Pinstripes.
you are so
Interesting.
Yeah.
funny.
There's baton. There's baton twirling with
Baton
ribbons
twirling.
on the end.
Let's
and
bring
stuff.
Rosebud on.
Okay, Rosebud. Let's see here.
Oh, there she is.
Is this Rosebud? Rose.
This is Rosebud.
Hi,
Oh, Rose, welcome.
we love you, Rosebud.
Bud.
Oh yes, we. I work alone. Oh yes, we do.
How
Rose,
is everybody?
we are
Oh.
doing fine. Finally, we get to talk to you at last in
Rose.
person.
Dara is not here. I don't know if you heard. She was calling in from the Dodger game. So I have her.
Oh, well, she has some fun.
So that means you're giving me hers, right? Because she's not here.
If it fits, that's fine. I'll make her something.
No, I'm
Oh.
kidding. I'm gonna give hers. So thank you for the beautiful card. Say hi to Stephen Grove Malloy, our co-host today.
Hey, Dara.
This is
Hi,
Rosebud.
Stephen. How are you?
Yeah, this is
good.
Rosebud has made us these beautiful gifts that we're gonna open.
Oh, great.
here.
We're going to
They're
open right now.
amazing.
Rosebud just
Good,
wrote us a
thank
very
you.
nice card. Dear Jasper, Dara, and Ralph, enjoy your gifts. Life's a journey. Glad we're in it together. She made them with plenty of love and hope you wear and use them in great spirits and health. Love, Rosebud. Thank you, Rose.
Thank you, Rose.
And my
Well,
mother,
I-
and
you're
Rosebud, my
welcome.
mother is here, and her name is Rose, too. So
we have
got-
two roses in
and
the
two
house.
Negroes.
And
two
two
roses
Negroes.
and two Negroes.
Good
so
Negroes.
We're opening good Negroes. Well, speaking of good Negroes, Stephen Grove Malloy starred in a play last season.
He out boomeranged you on that one.
Called,
Went right back.
yeah, called The Good Negro, and he got rave reviews for that. So, just by the
See?
way, now I'm opening the first gift. This one is
Crazy.
Dara's gift, and I'm opening the box now. Let me just take this tape.
Ralph,
Oh,
you
okay.
could be a model on The Price Is Right.
I
if
probably
you weren't
could.
60.
QVC.
Oh, wow.
this
Oh
is
my God.
great.
Rose.
Oh wow! Look
Wow.
at this, Planet
Woo.
Eartha. Oh,
That is
nice.
spectacular. Now, please know, Planet Eartha, these are handmade gifts
This
by
is
Rosebud.
beautiful,
No,
Rosebud.
actually, well, that's an add bead.
Oh.
That is an add bead bracelet. Actually, you guys, I handmade both of your gifts.
Oh, so
But
we
I
got the
did something
handmade
else
one.
for Dara
Okay.
that is handmade.
Okay, I'm opening ours.
In case
now.
Dara tries to sell it on eBay, I want to
This-
make sure.
Oh, I see the boxes are labeled. Okay.
Oh, yeah, Ralph.
Dara,
they're-
I
Very
want,
good health.
I want Ralph to open his. I think he's gonna like.
Okay, I'm opening it
This was,
now.
this was all.
Oh
This
yes.
was all Jasper's idea.
This
Oh,
is very
Ralph,
nice.
look at that.
Excellent.
Wow.
This is great. Peace sign. Thank you, Rosebud.
I guess we've saved the best for last,
Oh,
as it should be,
excellent. Oh,
since my name's on the show. Okay, let's see.
The stone, the black stone, is actually
Oh,
called black stone.
Look at this.
and
that is-
it's there. It's to help people feel calm, which I felt was rather ironic when you think about what I made for you. So
Rosebud, I
you'll
love
be
mine.
calm.
I love mine.
This is beautiful, Rosebud. We very much appreciate your
I'm-
generosity.
We're gonna wear it with pride. We're gonna wear it every show for sure.
And you made the card was signed September 15th, so you've had this for just a little bit before.
Well,
were able-
we had it because we're only doing the show once a
once
month.
a
I
month,
wanted
gotcha.
to make sure we brought it on air.
That is very nice, Rosebud.
Rose,
Very,
thank
very
you.
nice.
How's everything going with you, sweetheart?
I'm glad you like it. Everything's going very well. My husband's at work, and I'm sitting here with my cat Spock, and he's watching me, and we're all just very comfortable here. Just we're going to listen to your show later on.
Oh, thank
Nice.
you. Well,
I just wanted to say hi to everybody, and I hope that what I made you, Jasper, I hope it fits.
when you
Really
watch
nice.
back in a few days, the show will be the live show on camera will be on our YouTube channel, and you can actually see us wearing the bracelets. I'll send you the link.
Oh, great!
Yes.
That's going to be fun.
Hey,
Well,
It's gonna
Rosebud,
be
is there?
really fun.
Hey,
so
Rose.
are we going to be able to see Ralph demonstrating his too, or we can't watch that?
Oh
right?
yeah, we're all on camera right now. We've got them all on, and
No. Oh, never mind.
No.
yeah. Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah. Well, if you really want that, he can. Yes.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I caught that too, Rosebud.
You know, Ralph will do
let
anything
you
on
know.
camera.
Okay, yeah, that's me.
I caught that too.
Hey,
Yeah.
so Rose, is there anything else you wanted to share with Planet Eartha? You are our audience right now, and you can say whatever you'd like.
Well, actually, I am going to be starting to make more jewelry in the future. My husband is making me a website, so
that would be great.
It's going to be something a little bit different because I'm not going to make everyday stuff. I'm going to make everything individual as it is ordered. It's just going to be the way that I do it. I've been doing this for 10 years, sending jewelry all over the world.
Wow.
I've never charged anybody for it, and I just absolutely love the idea of when they open up their presents and just smile on their face.
I know.
That's all I care about.
These are so amazing. And the detail and the amount of time and energy you put into this is really amazing.
And my bracelet has an orange hue to it, so I'm very appreciative of that. I have my bracelet on now.
Glad.
Yeah, so you'll see it when you see our playback.
Yeah, I'll send you the camera link so you can see it. And at any point, if you want us to start promoting your stuff on the website, let me know. Okay.
I'll let you know.
Okay, Rose.
I hope that everybody has a great night.
Oh,
thank you very much, Rosebud.
Your wrist?
I'm sorry?
Does it fit?
Yeah,
Does it fit your wrist?
I'm having it on my left.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
and it fits mine too.
That's
so
all
it's
I
perfect.
wanted to hear.
Yes, mine
Thank
is
you,
perfect.
Rose. Thank you so much, and we'll be in touch. Okay, thank
I
you.
love you guys.
Love you
Okay,
too.
love you back,
Love you.
Rosebud.
Take care of my love. Good night.
Good night,
Good night.
sweetheart. That's Rosebud, and I think she's up in Northern California.
Oh, is that where she's
Yeah.
housed? You know what, Planet Eartha, we're very fortunate to have so many loyal followers, Rosebud being the top on that list.
Rosebud has started with us at Blog Talk.
Yeah, so
she follows
she's
us.
been with us all the time. And
Regardless of the restraining order.
Exactly.
You know, it's amazing. It's a good thing she's in Northern California.
She keeps getting through.
But I love that.
But
love
we're very
you, Rose.
happy about
Just
that.
kidding. You know I'm not. But anyway, let's talk to our co-host here about Stephen and I go back 12 years. 13, I don't know.
I don't know.
We met doing Boys in the Band, the play, and
like 1990.
wow, 99, 2000, somewhere in there.
2002.
I didn't look like this then. You look the same. That's all I know. Speaking of Gravity, right here.
Stop.
The sequel. But no, so we have
Long time.
We have been cohorts and colleagues and whatever. And Stephen has been LA, he's New York, he's bi-coastal, he's
In other
bipolar.
words,
I mean,
exactly. A number of nervous breakdowns along the way.
bisexual,
That's
whatever.
What life, buy me anything.
Buy
I'll have
it.
sex with you.
Yes. Absolutely. And he's single.
long career.
Stephen is single at the moment. So
Yeah.
anyone watching right now,
run.
What kind of ladies do you like, Steve? What kind of? If you were gonna get a future wife,
That's not a problem, but they like me.
that's always the case, isn't it? Right? Yeah. No, but I mean, so Stephen, because we talk here all the time about the journey of acting and especially about finding your niche and your type and getting to. But you've been in your niche since I met you, pretty much in terms of the types that. I guess you've grown a little more
it's changed.
in the
It's changed.
last few years.
Yeah, well, when we first came to Hollywood, actually, you had me by a number of years.
Thank you
but
for
it was
reminding everybody how old I am.
But
Go
it
ahead.
was a different culture. It was a different
Right.
environment. It
Right.
was pre-Halle. It was pre-Oprah.
Right.
And so Hollywood was really different. And I was like, I won't do comedy. I only want to be a serious black actor.
Right.
Right? And I don't want to be known as the guy who's funny or anything like that. So over the years now, it's become comedy most recently.
And the irony of that is when I came here because I had to play Willow Springs, I was only 23. I only wanted to do sitcoms. I thought I would only do sitcoms. And while
here
I
you
did get
are.
to do some sitcoms, now suddenly I'm this dramatic
In film,
thing,
right.
or whatever. But
So it changes.
So the message would be, you would say what you think you're going to do, or tell God your plans, and He.
For me, the message is I thought it was a sprint, and it's turned out to be a marathon.
Right. Well, it is.
And
That is the thing. It is a
Right.
marathon.
It's a marathon.
That's the thing.
Which I
And
couldn't
you're-
figure out.
and
when
you're
I first came
enduring.
here. Yeah.
the marathon.
And I came to it when I was older. I was 34, 35 when I came to Hollywood and had a couple careers underneath
Well,
my
that's the
belt.
thing I wanted to talk about, because I think part of the reason I've talked about this before, like with my friend Rodney Van Johnson, Denise Boutet, I think people like you who come from even a corporate background,
Right.
a lot of times you come into the business approaching it like a business.
Exactly.
And I think that really helps
Right.
because tell everyone, I mean, you're a military brat, basically.
I'm a military brat. I grew up a little bit all over, and then I went into the service and did that for a couple of years. And then
He's actually a veteran.
yeah, and then I went and worked in corporate America, as it turned out, for wonderful company,
Kraft
Foods.
One of the younger executives, right, at the time.
Yeah, I was 27.
And you went to Georgetown. Where did you go to college?
Georgetown. In
He's
Washington,
educated
DC.
and everything, Ralph.
He's educated.
He's got degrees and everything.
He's a good Negro.
I love it. Well, speaking of good Negro, Stephen Grove Malloy starred in a play called
Second
The
time
Good
you've
Negro.
said it.
You know,
Yeah.
every time I hear that,
It's funny.
I'll talk about the play.
It's good
Ding,
the first
ding.
time.
Okay.
But it's good to be reminded.
You know, to bring that up, though, isn't it interesting now that what we're seeing with Lee Daniels and The Butler, and there's a new movie that's
12
coming out.
12
years of a slave.
Of a slave. Now, all of a sudden, black culture around slavery
Right.
and the early days seems to be in.
Well, it's almost like Roots 30 years later.
Right.
Is it 30 since Roots, or it's something in the late 70s?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Something like
it's
that.
yeah, exactly.
So it's
But
very
my take on that, there's a lot of other really interesting stories to be told besides the slavery, but
Exactly.
it's nice. It's almost like with
We'll start there.
It's almost like with the Holocaust, with the Jewish, you know, it's like it always goes back to the Holocaust when we know there are other avenues they could talk about, you know. So,
right.
but that's whatever. That 12 years of slave. What is it called?
12 years of 12 years a slave. Something
Brad
like
Pitt is one of the producers,
Right.
and he's apparently that is supposed to be amazing. And the lead guy in that, I can't remember where he's from, but this is a huge break
Right,
for
it's
him.
Cheeto, I forget his name.
Cheetah Kunda.
Well, speaking of 12 years a slave, a friend of mine.
Kente, Chudo Chunba, something. Go ahead, Ralph.
Well, my friend Kelsey Scott is also appears in that film.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Awesome.
I saw the when I went to see The Butler, they actually showed the first previews of that.
The thing that is so wonderful about that is our play, The Good Negro, was done in New York at the Public Theater by Tracy Scott Wilson, who's a wonderful African-American female playwright.
Right.
And so these stories about civil rights and about our history are now finally being told.
Which is amazing.
Which
Which
is
is how it
amazing.
should be.
Yeah.
Everything's cyclical, you
Yeah.
know. So, but no. So Stephen, we did Boys in the Band, and then we did another Raft of the Medusa.
Yeah.
But along that way, we were both still working, getting TV work and here and there. But the thing I'm most admirable about Stephen is that he did go to New York, and well, Ralph lived in New York 20 years. You've done the New York thing.
I ran away to New York. Yes. This is
Well,
true.
you. Now, I mean, having done that, twice.
Twice.
Which means you've done it now, so you're still bi-coastal. You're just not there right now, but I mean,
Right,
you've already done that. You're not afraid of it. You know how to do it.
For me, it was a dream. I always wanted to do it.
Right.
But the thing that was so great about it, I think now in Los Angeles, coming back and starting to do comedy, which is something that I had never typically done.
Right.
The great thing about New York is it's a renaissance. You get to go to New York and fall down and get scraped up and beat up and tore up, and then you get to come back.
And
here
in your
again.
career too,
Correct. Right.
not just in your personal
Right,
life,
because
right?
you go to New York and nobody cares that
Right.
you were in LA and you were on series because it's a 10-block radius that they grew up for 20 years. And they have those relationships. So you have to break into that market as well. And
That's
it's very
interesting
difficult.
because Ralph, you left LA. You really started your career more in New York,
Right.
And then you came
After
back.
I graduated from Pomona College, I moved to New York to try to become the big star in commercial stage and all of that. But I'm glad I did it because I got a lot of roots being on stage and getting to do a lot of off-Broadway
Exactly.
and regional theater, you know. So I feel that I got a great background by getting
Now,
to
did
live
you
in New York.
find the probably the reverse? You coming from New York to LA, did that sort of help you more? Were people more receptive? That there seems to be this thing about if you've been in New York, it's sort of like the way we treat English actors. It's almost like, well, if you've studied in New York, or if you've worked in New York, you must be really good.
Well, no, I didn't necessarily.
Until you read.
When I when I came back to Los Angeles, it was to take care of my father. So
Oh, right.
I wasn't coming back to like now enter the
Showbiz.
TV and the showbiz world.
Right.
I would have liked to, but my priority was to take care of my father.
Right.
So for those first 4 years of coming back, there was one show business thing that I did. So, but I know what you're saying, and
Right.
I didn't really encounter the situation of, it's kind of like what you're saying. Even though if you could have been on Broadway and done a lot of things in New York, and then you come to LA, they're not don't really necessarily care.
The credits don't necessarily transfer.
Right, and then when you were back in New York, you had a nut to crack to get in with those people that had their niches already. Right. So I think your talent just has to stand on its own wherever you are at that moment. It's nice to have the cachet of credits behind you. It's like your credentials. It's like it's like being certified in something. It's like you have the certification, but somebody who's not certified can still get the job over you. So
but that's kind of the case. I mean, for you, Jasper, for example, you come from the South, right? And for a lot of people, that probably was a challenge when you first got out here to Los Angeles. Now, over the years, I would imagine that's layered in for you and is a very beautiful thing in your career, and it's a strength that you can use now.
Well, ironically, yes, because when I moved here, I was doing a play about a Southern show. So it for many now I can. It's so funny now I don't get called in for Southern parts. Like I'm not Southern enough. But when I first moved here, that's all I did. But now nobody thinks of me that way.
Do you want to segue into Brian Russell?
Is this Brian?
I'm here, Jasper. How are you doing?
Hey, buddy. Sorry about that. We had a little delay there. Welcome to On the Set with Jasper Cole. This is Jasper. Say hi to my co-host, Ralph Cole Jr.
Hello, Ralph.
Hey, Brian. Welcome to our show.
And our special, we have a special guest co-host, Stephen Grove Malloy.
What's up there, Brian?
Hey, Steve.
So, well, first of all, congratulations on your new book, Scribe. But you're calling in from the great state of Texas, right?
I am in the great state of Texas, and the weather finally cooled off. I can't believe it, but it's beginning to be fall down here, and it's beautiful. It's really nice.
Excellent.
Oh, wow.
And so congratulations on your book, Scribe, being out as of September 23rd. Congratulations for that.
It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Well, we were just starting. We were talking about our showbiz journey, and I just want all the listeners to know Brian is truly a Renaissance man. You do it all, have done it all between music, movies, and now writing your first novel. Although I know you've actually written a children's book before, co-authored a children's book, but this is your first novel.
That's correct. I did a children's book actually with my beautiful wife. We wrote a children's book called The Adventures of Little Nettie Winship that we're really proud of. We had a fabulous artist. We have a guy called Ezra Tucker who was the artist for this book, and he's like the premier wildlife artist now in the world. And we had him do the artwork. It's a beautiful book.
Oh, fantastic.
But it was a lot easier to write than this one, let me tell you that.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. So, well, you're Canadian by birth, is that right? You're from Canada or Scotland?
I'm from Scotland. I was born and raised in Scotland. I left there as a young teenager and moved to Canada with my folks.
Right.
And grew up in Toronto, went to school in Toronto, and then kind of ran out of show business opportunity in Toronto and moved to Los Angeles in the 70s.
Toronto is a great city. Really great city.
Yeah, I like Toronto.
It is.
Well, I mean, you have done it all, like I said.
It's very clean.
Very clean, yeah. And good in so many ways, healthcare being one of them. But that's a whole other show, so we won't digress on that. But
and I want to play Tonto.
Right. Well, you mentioned you mentioned your beautiful wife. I mean, we bring this up for many reasons, but she, of course, is the talented Cheryl Ladd. But the fact that you've had this 32-year marriage in Hollywood is probably the greatest success of all. And, of course, in this town, that's probably like 100 years. So congratulations.
You're so right. In Hollywood years, it's at least 100 years, right? But you know what, guys? It's the secret to this whole thing is to marry someone who you can be a friend to.
Mm-hmm.
She's a great friend. She's the greatest person I've ever met, actually. And this woman deigned to marry me. And she had a momentary lapse there, but married me and stuck with me for 2 years.
Well, listen, you will never hear a bad thing about Cheryl Ladd in the business. She has an amazing reputation of being such a just wonderful, generous person and such a great talent. And you know what a small town this is, right? So, people.
It's all true. It's all true. She's a wonderful person. She's beautiful. She's a beautiful, beautiful lady. But her inside is she's just beautiful through and through. And I just feel honored and complimented to have her as my life partner.
Well, congratulations.
So
Give
nice,
our best to her. Yeah, I mean, so you started as a composer and a performer, and you've written songs for Kanye West, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Shaka Khan, Anne Murray, and of course Cheryl Ladd. So was music sort of your first passion or first love, or is it all kind of intertwined together?
I think Jasper. I think I'm talking to Jasper at the moment. Music was the first one. But you know, you guys, you're all creative people, and if we're creative, it seems to like come from various directions. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just can't lock in on music. I like to be creative in the kitchen, for Pete's sake. It's creative is creative, and I love to design. I love to cook. I love to write music. I like to write stories, and then I just took it upon myself to try to write a novel and see what would happen.
Right.
It was an incredible commitment. It took me a long time, but the joy of the creative muses being active in your life, it's just what a blessing it is to have that, you know.
Oh,
right.
absolutely.
And based on the description of Scribe, I mean, it's very detailed. So what a creative imagination you had to just pull out these characters with Moira and John, and you know, just reading the description of the book, it's just spellbinding, you know, and there's so much going on, like ritualistic sex and love.
Wow.
And, you know, so Brian,
that got everybody's attention, didn't it? Suddenly everyone perked up in the room. Yes. I guess I'm remiss.
You know what? Can I tell you something?
Yes.
Can I tell you something? This is bizarre. But I started writing this story just out of my head and decided not to do all the research and get bogged down. I figured I could fix that later. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I just made up the names of places and of people, and I made up a Scottish clan. I knew they were the Campbells, but their location I didn't know anything about. I started the book. I'd written about 100 pages, manufactured all these things, and went to Scotland with my wife and drove through a valley with the names of the towns I'd manufactured, and found out that I was at the seat of the Campbell clan.
Oh, my God.
And this all came through me from somewhere else.
Wow.
And that's exactly what happens to the guy writing the book. I kid you not.
Wow. That's like a
out-of-body
channeling experience
there.
there.
Always happens, though.
Well, because I was earlier going to ask you if, you know, of course, if any of this is loosely based on any real-life experiences or any of that. Is that the case, or how did this? I guess it's hard to ask someone where does an idea start from. You know, where is this something you had really been carrying around for a while in your head and just finally put it down on paper?
You know, not really. I mean, if you're writing a song, I'd sit down at the piano and I'd tinkle away at the ivories and hope that something came, because I honestly believe this comes from somewhere else. I don't take credit when I write a song. Right. I believe that I was a messenger. Really, I was a conduit, you know, a vessel, and it came from somewhere else. When I started to write the book, instead of planning it all out, as I probably should have done in retrospect, I just started with page one and let it write itself. So the book just gained its own life as it progressed, and as did I. And I kind of went along for the ride sometimes. Some days the book was writing and writing and writing. Some days there was nothing happening. I just had to put in the time and sit there and wait for it to happen, or just write. And even if I tore it up later, just do the work, you know?
Right.
Got to do the work.
And Brian, when you wrote the book, did you do it on a computer or did you handwrite?
I did it on a computer.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, everyone has.
I was pretty new with the computer, so I lost a few pages here and there, but ultimately the computer was a great tool for me.
Okay, okay, good, interesting.
Well, let's tell everyone, first of all, of course, where they can find the book, the best places to be able to find the books. It did come out on the 23rd, so Brian, what's the best place?
At the moment, it's exclusively on Amazon.
Okay.
But it's Amazon for the book itself, and of course, Kindle is available as well.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I will say I'm really gratified, guys, by the reviews. If somebody wants to just pop up the name Scribe or Scribe by Brian Russell on Amazon, they'll see how people are responding to this. I'm really, really gratified. I'm actually humbled by the way people are responding. I'm thrilled because this took years of work. You guys know.
Right.
You don't just write. You can write a song in an afternoon.
Right.
A book is a much longer song. You know what I'm saying? It
Right.
takes a lot. It took me years to write this thing.
Wow.
But I'm proud of it. But it's on Amazon. And also I will, anybody who wants to know more about me and what I'm about, go to Scribe Writer. I'm the writer of Scribe, so my site is scribewriter.com.
Okay.
And it'll let you know about my history in the music industry and working with Grace Kelly. I was the last Hollywood producer, by the way, to work with Grace Kelly in her life. And there's a good story there, too. There's lots of good stories. So look at my site. You'll find out some stuff about me.
Well,
Okay, great.
I see you produced the Grace Kelly story with Cheryl, so I had no idea, though, that was you had actually worked with Grace Kelly.
You know that we were in the middle of pre-production, guys, and she drove off the cliff as we were about to start filming.
Oh, my God. Wow.
And she had come on board. She'd come on board to help with the production, and she was actively involved with us. And then this horrible thing happened, and we just put the whole project on hold for a while until the mourning period was done. You know,
right, exactly.
But just great stories, and that was a fun time in my life too.
Well, now having written the book and it's out there, do you have the bug now to continue with the writing and of course do more? Is this the kind of thing that could have a sequel, or do you just want to keep writing new material?
I'm in the middle of the sequel. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I'm in the middle of the sequel right now. But anybody who reads this book, it's kind of there's a dichotomy because the ending, for once, actually ties up. It actually answers the questions.
Right.
You get to the end and you go, oh, yeah, there's a sigh of satisfaction. But experience from people who have read it is that they want more because the characters are just so captivating. And so I'm in the middle of the sequel right now. I'm about 150 pages in and doing the work,
Well, I mean, since you come from producing, of course, my next natural question is this something that you could see turning into a movie or anything for TV or film?
Jasper, I would love to see it as a movie, but if you guys take a look at it, it's too convoluted.
Okay.
I think it would make a terrific miniseries. The book goes back and forth. It goes back and forth from present day to historical because the hero is writing his own book, and it's a historical book. And the story goes back and forth until the stories become intertwined. And so it's just there's too much there, actually, to put into a 2-hour film. It'd have to be a miniseries. But I've done miniseries before.
I know. I was thinking. I remember.
I'm hoping it goes that way.
I love that genre of the miniseries in the 70s and 80s, and everything seems to be cyclical at some point. So hopefully that genre will come back.
I thought it was so interesting. We're talking about.
I think this could help it to come back. I hope it goes that way, and I have plans to try to put that into the works.
Oh, fantastic!
I was just saying that we were talking about the journey, and you can hear in your voice as you're describing the experience, the patience that it was needed for this to just happen,
yeah,
as opposed to constructing
forcing it to happen,
and that is what so much of being an artist is about. So it's great to hear you describe it because you really describe the journey of an artist just in talking here on the radio about what it took to do
exactly.
I'm reading your reviews now, Brian. They are really great, and Jacqueline Smith left a great review, and you have nothing but 5 stars on every review. So congratulations.
I know it's Thank you very much. I'm very proud. It's like birthing a baby, and I spent a long time with it. And I'm very proud of the result. And my beautiful wife says that she has a way with words, and this is one of them. She says, "I envy anyone who is picking up this book for the first time because I remember the first time I went through it, and it was it was a fun experience. And anybody who's starting to read it, I think they're in for a good ride. It's a good journey there.
Excellent. God, talk about totally fulfilling.
Yeah.
Just congratulations.
And how wonderful that the universe picked you.
That's right.
To tell this story.
You're exactly right. That's the way I feel about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great way to think of it. Well, I do. I think then everyone will anticipate a sequel, and I'm glad you're... I'm actually going to read the book in the next few days. I didn't have a chance. I didn't have a chance to, but I'm kind of glad I did now. It's kind of fun to talk to the author before sometimes you read a book. Because I feel like
I'm happy for you. And do me a favor. When you do, give me a holler, will you? And let me know what you thought.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I thought when you said Grace that you meant you were the last producer to work with Grace Jones. And I started laughing because I remember being in San Francisco with Grace Jones back in the day at the End Up. I won't go there.
Well,
okay.
Grace Jones.
Grace
Jones.
Right.
She's still around.
Hey, you know what, Jasper?
Yes.
I worked with Grace Jones. I'm not kidding. I worked with Grace Jones, too.
Wow.
I get around.
And
you know?
I'm sure it
I love
was
it.
work with Grace Jones, too.
Yeah.
Okay, that was some work right there.
Wow.
Because she was crazy when I saw her.
Wow.
And so was I, but hey.
Well, Brian also worked with Shaka Khan, so that I'm sure there's some stories with that one
okay.
also.
Yeah,
we do love Shaka too,
we
but
love her.
yeah.
Warm.
Well, Shaka became a friend. She's a fabulous talent, and she was instrumental in my career when I started being a writer. She was like the biggest name. I had done a bunch of songs for Anne Murray in Canada and some when I came here. But when Shaka started grabbing my music, it kind of focused people a little more, and she was really instrumental in helping me in the music industry. And I'm proud of my relationship with her, and she was a good buddy.
Well,
she really was.
I'm just thinking of that. Your range of music. You go from Anne Murray to Shaka Khan. I mean, that's two completely different genres there. That's amazing. Because it
I'm
seems
telling
like
you take what comes, right?
right. I mean, that's fantastic though, because I mean, sometimes songwriters you see them, they stay in one lane kind of, and that's where they stay. Well, we always talk about on the.
I've never been a one-lane guy.
We talk about on the show about everyone's journey, and so we were just saying earlier that we don't always know where we're going to end up in the business, but I believe, like you've shown, is that it's good to do a little bit of everything. I mean, maybe at the time we don't want to be doing everything, but ultimately, you just it makes you a more well-rounded person in general. So, congrats on.
Also,
go ahead.
Don't you think also that it keeps you fresh?
Yes.
Isn't it nice to go to a new place? Isn't it nice to be on a road that you've never been on before?
Exactly.
Cheryl and I love to get on a highway. We go to Scotland sometimes, and we just without a map, just take off and make a turn, go down this road. And I've kind of applied that to my life. Let's go down this road without plan and see what happens. And it keeps you fresh, and it keeps you interested, and it keeps you being an adventurer. And let's always be adventurers. Don't you agree?
I totally agree, and I think the key is as we get older to especially to do that. I find with myself as I'm getting older, it's hard not to get quote set in my ways and not want to. Boy, I was so adventurous when I was younger. The key now is to stay that way, I guess, as I approach 50 or whatever. So. Yeah.
I was becoming locked into this nice, cushy life in Santa Barbara, right? There I am living in California. I know that I'm there for the duration. Everything is perfect. And then out of the blue, we sell our beautiful house up there in the San Ynez Valley. We load up everything and we move to Texas. So, and you know what? It's been tremendous. It's just a new lease on life.
New chapter.
But Brian, what made you
atmospheres.
Brian, what made you and Cheryl want to go to Texas? Like, did you have family there, or what made you just pack up and move there?
We have a lot of family. My grandkids are down here. They're close. We're in the hill country between San Antonio and Austin.
Okay.
My daughter, Lindsay, and her husband and my grandkids are in Austin, which is an hour and a half up the road. Cheryl's family is primarily all here in the hill country of Texas. So we have family here. We have our grandkids here. And we also, Jasper, we kept a place there as well, because we can't give up on the beauty of California that we love, and where we lived there was so beautiful. So we kept the house there. So we're just going to go back and forth.
Good for you. Good for you. Well, Austin is such an amazing creative city, musically and theatrically and everything. I really love Austin. Yeah.
It's become much more than a college town.
Yes,
it's actually
absolutely.
a destination, from what I understand.
I grew up in Athens, Georgia, which is a college town, and in a lot of ways, Austin reminds me a lot, especially with the new music scene and the actors coming out of there. So, well, listen, buddy, it's so great to have you on the show, and the time goes. I don't know, we could talk for hours. I come back anytime. Love to have you come live in the studio when you're back in town. That would be fantastic.
Let's try to do that. You'll have the book read by then. I'm going to be back after the holidays. I'll come in and see you.
Perfect.
And I can't thank you enough. You were just so receptive, and I wish I could see all you guys and know who you are that way, but next time I'll come in and see you. Okay?
That would be great.
Brian.
Congratulations on the book, everyone. That's the book is SCRIBE. Get it on Amazon.
And let's also thank Mike Pingle for organizing
publicist
this as well.
extraordinaire Mike Pingle. Absolutely. Well, Brian, thank you so much. Say hi to Cheryl and the whole family. Have a great rest of the Sunday, and we'll hopefully meet you soon when you're back in town.
Thank you, and thank you to Mike Pingle comes from me too. Jasper, thank you. Thank all of you guys, and thanks very much for having me.
Thanks,
You're very
Brian.
welcome, Brian
Thanks.
Russell.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, everyone.
Bye-bye.
That's the wonderful Brian Russell. Well, listen, guys, we need to take our first break because coming up at the top of the hour, we have my co-star in Savage Sisters, Erica Renee, and it is Sisters, Erica Renee Davis.
Excellent.
She's also an amazing hostess, and she has her own sports show, and she does it all. So you're listening to On the Set with Jasper Cole, and we will be right back.
Come back, Planet Eartha.
You're back on the set with Hollywood's bad guy, Jasper Cole. Here's Jasper Cole.
Woohoo! All right, here we go. Howdy, 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 and welcome back to On the Set with Jasper Cole. That would be me, your host, I guess, allegedly, Jasper Cole.
Wonderful host.
I don't know who I am. Coming to you live. First of all, my chair, I'm already 4 feet tall, but it went down like 4 inches. Coming to you live from Sunset Gower Studios in Hollywood, California. Please, before he gets his feelings hurt, say hi to my way too gay sidekick, Mr. Ralph Cole Jr.
Ralph Cole in the house.
Hello, Planet Eartha. Welcome back to
I'm
our
glad
show.
you stayed, Ralph. Thanks for staying.
Oh, no, I got paid, so of course I'll stay.
Well, the check hasn't cleared yet. Don't get too excited.
I just deposited the shit on my
You
phone.
did? You did? Oh, I
Yeah,
forgot.
okay.
Oh, shoot.
Don't even. Okay.
I forgot all about that.
Get that banking
He
app.
just checked me, didn't he?
Yes, he did. You got this.
Well, listen, let's continue the roundtable here and welcome our special guest co-host, Mr. Stephen Grove Malloy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank
Stephen.
you. Hey.
How's it going?
Good. I just wanted to say one thing from our previous guest who
Yes.
was on. The name of the author
Brian
again?
Russell.
Brian
Oh.
Russell and the great book, Scribe, as Jasper disappears.
Look at you.
I knew Ralph. This is what Ralph wants.
Right? Is that what
Bitch,
he
I know
wants?
you did this.
Well,
Keep talking.
But check it out. Brian reminded me
Hot
of an
Mess
amazing.
Productions.
That's all right. The Hot Mess Works is when I was in New York, and Ralph, you may know this group, Playwrights Horizon, which is a wonderful theater company that does new works. And Elaine Aldoffer is the casting director there. And I did a workshop. Which have now become necessary in our business. And Elaine said, you know what, if you're sitting in this room today, the distinction for you about being an artist is going to be not that you picked it, but it picked you.
Wow.
And so when he
So
was
when he was talking about the book Finding
right?
Him.
And for any artist, be you a painter, an actor, a writer, a musician, you know that you have to stay in the business because it picks you.
Right.
It obsesses you. It makes you insane. And the reason you can't let it go is it chose you.
That's
Right. Oh,
interesting.
that's nice, Stephen.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
think that was amazing what he was saying, how it sort of channeled through him. Right. Well, listen, we're back. We have our very special guest here today. She's an amazing actress. Well, she's another one that does it all. I mean, she's a producer, she's a host, she's a model, she's an actress. And please welcome Erica Renee Davis. Hi.
Yay.
Woo!
Hi, guys.
How are you, sweetheart?
I'm doing well. I feel so special because I'm the only girl here today. So.
Well, don't tell Ralph that.
Sorry, Ralphie.
Allegedly.
I'm the only girl
Thank
here.
you. She just checked you, bitch. So sit down.
It's
Well,
hot
you
up
know-
in here.
Right.
Well, you know, Erica is wearing my dress, okay? So,
Right.
yeah.
Thank you for letting me borrow
And
that.
you both orange reddish tint going on here.
Oh, Erica
Yes.
is so beautiful, and I love how your toenails just are revealed off the shoe and your fingernails, so you are
Yes.
totally
Wow.
a pretty package.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. Jasper and I actually work together.
What?
Oh, go ahead, Jasper.
No. I was going to have you talk about
He
it.
has a
'cause-
tendency to interrupt. You're the guest now, so
thank you.
Erica, just
go ahead.
you talk.
I can mute his mic also, but go ahead.
Well, Jasper and I worked together on an awesome horror film trailer over the summer called Savage Sisters.
Sisters.
And you guys already know that Jasper is Hollywood's bad guy.
Allegedly.
And I might be the bad guy or the good guy in the movie, but you'll have to wait to see next year.
Okay.
So
Yes.
that's how we met.
We are, I guess, hopefully going to do the movie. That would be the idea.
Yeah, the idea is that we shoot the movie, that we get the funding for the movie hopefully next year, and we
Right.
actually shoot the full-length version. But we had an awesome time
we
shooting
did.
the trailer. A lot of good food.
But you know, we have an interesting journey with this project because you were
Yes.
there 5 years ago, right?
Exactly. When I first moved to Los Angeles, I auditioned for this role called, the name of the movie is Savage Sisters, or Savage Sisters.
Sisters, let's
Savage
get it right.
Sisters. 5 years ago, I auditioned, and that was my very first major theatrical role, and I booked it, and I was
Wow.
so excited. And then
I didn't know that was your first. That is even better.
It was my very first, and I was so excited. My agents were really excited because I just moved here, and then nothing happened. And I periodically have thought about the project, wondering, what happened to it. Did they choose someone else? But I have this thing when I think that I'm going to book something and then I don't book it. I just figure, the project must have gotten canceled.
Right, it could be. I like that. That's good.
Clearly,
clearly it got scrapped. Okay.
Clearly they lost their funding, and they did. They literally did.
That's really how I operate. But whatever. So they did lose their funding.
I like that.
It's a classic thing, Erica. When the guy, those guys are like, yo, baby, as you walk by, and then you walk by, dyke, kind of thing. So you were like, when you didn't get that movie, it's okay. Clearly they didn't get the funding. It was scrapped. So
well, in a way, though, that was a great kind of experience, I hate to say it, to start off with, because that really happens a lot in this business.
True.
Well, I've only been here 5 years, though.
Yeah.
She's a baby.
Well, that is a baby for us.
But when you're going through it, it doesn't
like
matter.
forever.
It feels like forever, but 5 years.
Where did you come from?
I'm from Georgia.
We're both from Georgia.
We're both from Georgia.
This will piss Ralph off.
Oh,
because
really?
there was a period when everybody that came on the show was from Georgia.
What's crazy, I was in the green room and I saw Nikki DeLoach's picture, and she's from Blackshear, Georgia, which is the next city from my small town called Waycross, Georgia.
Yes.
Waycross.
So my home. Do you know
Stephen
Waycross?
lived in Atlanta.
I lived in Atlanta, Decatur, Georgia, and Marietta up there, down there with them good people.
Well, I'm down there in the country. I'm in the
South.
South.
She's South Georgia.
That's
my mother's from Ruston, Louisiana.
Oh, you're from the South too, Mom, over there.
Wow,
Okay.
we should have had some fried okra and called it a day.
There you go.
Honey on your fries.
Some cream corn and sweet tea.
Fried chicken.
I'm surprised we don't all weigh 300 pounds.
And there's a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle place around the corner.
Well, honestly, I loved eating fried foods and greasy stuff growing up, but as I've gotten older, I can't. My metabolism doesn't take that anymore.
Or your system.
Me either.
Oh, it doesn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
So I reserve that kind of eating for when I go home for the
When you
holidays.
go home,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Literally, it'll show up on my body, my butt.
Well, please,
my
you look
butt.
amazing.
I've
In a
reserved
few
that kind
days,
of.
I
I've reserved too for after midnight.
Well, also the chicken and waffle thing, that's not really, the waffle part's not really Southern or not where.
Well, I don't really know where the waffle thing originated, but we do have a Gladys Knight Chicken and Waffles in Atlanta.
Oh,
so
okay.
I don't know if Roscoe's has a
I bet that
or
influenced
Gladys.
that. That's
I don't know
interesting.
who came first,
That's
Gladys
interesting.
or Roscoe's. I don't know.
Well, it's funny because on the set one night, we're just sitting there killing time talking. That's a whole other, we were at this Hoarder's house, which is a whole other
Hoarders.com.
Which was with, I don't know what, running around up in the Morongo Valley or whatever. But, we just started talking, and I don't even know how the Georgia thing came up, but you went to college in Athens, where I'm from, and you were one of were you the first?
The second. So
Second.
I was a majorette at the University of Georgia, and in the South, being a majorette is a really big deal. It's really prestigious.
And pageants.
And pageants. But on the West Coast, being a majorette is kind of, or being in the band in general, is kind of like, oh, you're lame, you're a nerd. But in the South, it's really prestigious to be a part of the band in any capacity.
Right.
Well, I was a majorette, and my sister was the very first African American majorette at the University of Georgia, and I was the second.
That's
So-
how many years difference? Is it
we're
just
four
just
years.
a 4 years
Is
later?
majorette with the baton?
That is with the baton. A lot of people mistake majorettes for the drum major.
Drum major.
Because at some schools, drum majors carry a baton and they do
they
do their little marching thing. But that is the drum major, and the majorettes are normally the girls who have the white boots on and the little uniforms that most people identify as bathing suits, but they're not bathing suits; they're uniforms. And that's what I did at Georgia.
And that's a pretty arduous audition. I mean, do you call it audition, tryout?
Oh, yeah.
So that's a whole thing too, right?
If you are going to twirl at a university, at a major university, you normally have started twirling from maybe age 3 or 4.
Oh, wow.
It's a lifelong commitment. There are pageants involved in it. There are tons and tons, thousands and thousands of hours of lessons, of competitions.
Oh my goodness.
It's really major. It's very similar to the dance world when it comes to like dance moms and cheer moms. It's the exact same
I can't believe
thing,
no
but
one
just with
hasn't
batons.
done the baton thing. You better pitch that. Do you have something?
Like it's very major, and it seems to be a dying sport in some senses. But then when I go home and I look at the beautiful majorettes at the University of Georgia, go Dogs!
They just won yesterday.
Yes, go Erica.
Go Dogs!
Yes, go Dogs. I should have some dog music, but I don't. So bark, Ralph.
Bark.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Okay.
That was as butch as it's ever gonna get. Yeah. Although you got your low man's voice.
No,
do you?
I have that low timbre.
I can do that too.
Okay.
Yeah. Stephen.
I don't know.
Keep it real. But no,
listen-
they have that show Cheer Perfection. I'm addicted to reality TV.
yeah,
I admit
yeah.
it. But I thought about that the other day. Like, well, why not in the South? That would just be
It would
hilarious.
be amazing when I tell you, like, there's so much. I mean, I don't want to say infighting because, I mean.
Well, there's inbreeding. But that's all.
Well, it
that's
is the South. I mean,
thank
what
you.
do you mean?
Hello.
But it's a very dog-eat-dog world because there's a lot of prestige and a lot of notoriety that comes with being a top baton twirler in the South. And really in the world, we have nationals in Notre Dame every single year. We have worlds in Amsterdam. So it's almost like a subculture that most people don't know about. But within the world, it's
big.
It's a big
Oh,
deal.
it sounds like a great project. No,
But
for
we
you.
can't say it too
No,
much
for you.
on the air because someone will steal it.
Oh,
But yeah.
But
Yeah.
okay, moving on. Okay, so that baton, it's never gonna
Well,
last.
the
Okay,
key to that is you have to you find the right
That's true.
studio. You know, you find the Abbey. You find the right
And-
the hook of the actual. And the more white trash, the better. Huh?
But we're talking about culture now. University of Georgia would be different than Florida A&M, than
It
Morehouse.
would be. It would be.
Clark Atlanta.
And my mom went to Albany State
Because you have the
University.
tragedy that came out of Florida A&M with the hazing.
With the hazing situation.
Right.
So for people who don't know, there was a huge incident about 2-3 years ago where the
Yeah.
band members were hazing the rookie band members, and they ended up killing one young man, unfortunately.
Right.
But the band culture at historically black universities is completely different
Okay.
than an all-white university. However, that would be an amazing, I guess, something to look into as
The
far
dichotomy.
as
Just
the
the
difference,
differences,
dichotomy,
yeah.
and dynamics
Right.
that are different from
Right.
black universities to predominantly all-white universities.
Right.
That's interesting.
Something to think about.
Yeah. No, you were a journalism major, or what was?
Yeah. I doubled in journalism and in political science.
And how did? But always with an interest for theater and acting, or
Always with an interest for theater. I grew up in the musical theater in my hometown. Now, I'm from Waycross, so our musical theater community was really small. But whenever we had a production, I always tried to be involved in it when I was growing up.
was it community?
It was
community theater.
community theater. I also grew up dancing. I was a ballerina. I did ballet, jazz, tap, acrobatics, played the piano, played the saxophone. So my parents, made sure my sister and I were very, very well-rounded. So I knew I wanted to do something on camera, something entertainment industry related. But when I moved out here, I started booking a lot of hosting jobs.
Right.
And as a journalism major, I love
You
writing.
have a great hosting reel too. Yeah,
thank
I'm going to
you.
post it on our website.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Do that,
it's really
do that.
good.
But so yeah, I've always loved writing. My mom's an English teacher, retired now, and
my mother was a teacher.
Rose, yes.
My mom was a teacher.
Aw.
The Negroes are working it out.
Guys,
Planet
the
Eartha.
NAAC Teachers Fund really paid off.
We're
That's
smarter
fantastic.
than you think.
Wow, let's give it up for that. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yes.
that's kind of how I got started in the whole hosting thing. I mean, I have a passion for acting. I mean, of course, I still go in theatrical auditions. I still book roles. But my deepest passion is writing and sports, which is how
Right,
that
which we're
parlayed
going to
into
get into your new project. Well, new. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
your baby right now,
my
right?
little
One of your babies.
mine. Not this baby, but
Oh,
I don't.
no.
There's no
No,
baby.
Because
I
we were
was like,
about to
"Ooh."
say, oh, Eric,
I
oh
was
my
like-
goodness, okay.
I was like, oh, you haven't? We're going to announce that on the air too? Wow.
I'm negative 9 months
Yeah,
pregnant.
Mom,
Negative
that's
9
not
months.
happening.
No, because
Yeah.
our previous guest, Brian Russell, was involved with sports. And
Right,
that's when
yes.
we were saying that Erica's coming on. So what a great automatic segue.
Well, there's so much around that because there's that typical thought that women in general don't know sports. But I'm going to say in the South, I don't know about other areas, but in the South, most women, a lot of women are into sports, and especially college sports.
That's
but
true.
it's kind of ventured into professional. I mean, would you say football is still the biggest, or
College football for sure?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
the end all be all. Religion. I mean, if you don't follow college football,
you
in the
better be
South,
tailgating?
You
and-
better be down in some Jack Daniels and pretending like
right,
you like it.
and
so
just never even get into the stadium.
sometimes
Just
you get a little too tipsy to
Yeah.
make it into the stadium, but at least you're around the environment.
the
so,
environment.
Yeah.
So tell everyone about your new show, your
Yes.
project. That's your baby.
Yeah, I'm so excited. My project is called the HOTTIES Handbook to Sports. About 3 years ago, I started this online magazine called HOTTIESHandbook.com, and it really came out of my passion for sports and for writing. But as you know, I danced at Georgia. I was a majorette at Georgia, and then I was an Atlanta Falcons cheerleader for a year,
Oh,
too.
we didn't even talk about that. Oh.
Yeah, I cheered for
Wow.
the Falcons. I was a dirty bird.
You
I was
go
a cheerleader.
on.
Yeah. So I saw how it felt to be the girly girl who was looked at as she's cute. She has a booty. She has, breasts. She shakes her palm. pom-poms, and then I knew what it was like to be able to actually write and to be able to actually follow the game and know the strategies and know the stats. And I felt like I was in between these two worlds. As a matter of fact, when I used to cheer for the Falcons, I would be on the sideline, like watching the game, like throw my palms up and screaming. My coach would be like, Erica, I need for you to get back in toe pop. And I just
toe pop.
Toe pop.
Write that down, Ralph.
Toe pop.
Sometimes
is this toe pop?
Well, yeah, you have to put your hands on your hip. You have to pop your right boot.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna need you to toe pop,
and
Ralph.
I remember, and I was a yell leader at Beverly Hills High School, and I remember Tiara. Tiara was like, Tiara.
Okay, I don't know Tiana, but thank you.
Okay, I just learned toe pop. You learned
I'm going to need
Tiana.
you periodically to toe pop.
Okay.
When I say Ralph, toe pop.
So toe pop is like the equivalent of like bevel. When
exactly,
okay.
same thing, same thing. And so I would find myself getting out of toe pop because I was so into the game, and I knew that I knew the game, but I knew that I loved being a girly girl too. So I'm like, okay, I'm a girly girl, I'm a guy's girl. And when I started doing my magazine, HOTTIES Handbook to Sports, that was my way of trying to blend the two worlds. And so what I do on HOTTIES Handbook to Sports, which the actual website is hottieshandbook.com.
And we'll put it on our website also.
Yep. You have to check it out because it's, I think, a perfect way to learn about sports in a non-intimidating way. So if you're a man or a woman who kind of likes sports casually but becomes intimidated by it for whatever reason, my website teaches you about sports in a non-intimidating way by infusing pop culture and music and fashion and fitness and community and relationships. And I do it mostly through blogs, but what I'm most excited about is that we shot the pilot for HOTTIES Handbook to Sports, and it's the spinoff of the magazine that we shot over the summer, and it will be coming to a major sports network to you.
Oh,
hopefully
right.
Early next year.
Soon you can make the announcement?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, can that be viewed anywhere, or is that right now that's strictly for sale?
Right now, the website, you can go to hottieshandbook.com and read all the blogs, but as far as the actual pilot spinoff that we shot over the summer, that's still
under,
you can't see it yet.
That's going to be,
But I'm excited
about it. That's so great.
Oh, yeah, you should. You are so fiercely articulate. It's wonderful. And I love how you say you're the girly girl and the guy's girl, too. And I really love how you said you understood being the pom-pom girly girl and really understanding the game, and because of your journalism background, really wanting to combine the...
Well, how many... Did Ralph pull it up?
He pulled
it
up.
There it is.
Work it through.
All right. So do you cover all sports?
I do. I cover all sports. Now, I have to let you know my passions are NFL, college football, and college basketball. And, I'm getting more into baseball now, but football, and basketball are my favorites. Oh, and the NBA. But my goal is to cover every sport, every subsection, every subculture, so that everyone can feel that they can come to the website and find a little niche themselves.
Because you have the Olympics coming up.
The Winter Olympics are coming up. The torch
I guess we
traveling.
will. Yeah. So there'll be rhythmic gymnastics and
the Olympics.
That's a sport.
The Winter Olympics.
Stephen, I'm sorry. It's a sporting event. Yeah. Sports. Yeah.
I just found out the Dodgers may go to the World Series.
And the Dodgers are playing the Braves right now.
I don't know if you heard.
Now,
our entertainment dish with Dara, her father-in-law is Vin Scully.
Oh.
And so she just called in live today from the stadium.
Oh, fun.
Because they're in the second game.
Well, tonight will be the third game. So Dodgers won 1, Braves won 2.
Atlanta.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I know.
Well, on that, go ahead, Ralph.
I wanted to ask you, this woman.
Yes.
Is there a controversy with her?
Yeah, so I wrote an article about a week and a half ago that had a little feature on a lady who is from Los Angeles, of course.
Yes, I saw this.
I forgot her name. It's a shame I forgot her name.
That's
but
okay.
She is
the pregnant bodybuilder.
She's 8.5 months pregnant, and she is. Can they see this picture? Oh,
yeah.
I just went away from it. Oops, sorry. Anyway, the woman is 8.5 months pregnant. And she's doing CrossFit. She's powerlifting. And those CrossFitters out there and people who are not CrossFitters, that it's kind of like
intense.
a cult.
It is. No, that's a whole reality show right there.
It's intense. And so the controversy came because she's 8.5 months pregnant. She's powerlifting and she's cleaning and she's lifting these heavy weights. And, people who don't understand the CrossFit culture think that she may be doing harm to her baby.
Right.
And my take on it is this. I mean, I'm really into health and fitness and nutrition myself. And this lady actually is a bodybuilder before she was pregnant and in between pregnancies. And if you know your body's strengths and weaknesses, as a mother of children already, you're not going to do anything that's going to harm your body or your child's ability or, I guess possibility of getting hurt or having, God forbid,
I
amazing.
saw her interviewed on one of the I can't remember, CNN or
Mm-hmm.
somewhere, and she talked about. She was very clear about that. She said, my doctor knows what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so there's so many haters. I don't. Women are the
Exactly.
worst on women. Also, come on, let's keep it
We
real.
are, we are.
Especially about fitness and stuff. It's like
True.
they were just mad at her that she looks as good as she looks.
She looks really good. Like her arms are still so toned, and her legs are, generally they're toned. I mean, she's
Right.
9 months pregnant, and
Right.
she is very fit. One of my girlfriends who lives in Atlanta said, "I wish I could do that, but my back, starts hurting when I'm heavier during my pregnancy." So that's not for every woman.
No.
It's not for every
No.
woman, but some women can eat more, some women have to eat less. Some women
Right.
breastfeed for a year, some women breastfeed for 6 months. Who am I to judge to
Right.
say you're a bad mom for breastfeeding for
Right.
only 6
Exactly.
months?
Right.
Who am I to judge to say you're a bad mom for lifting weights and when you were doing it before you got pregnant? Like, really, people chill out.
Chill out.
My
That's how I feel about it.
my first thought when I saw it was because I know there's a hormone released when a woman is pregnant called elastin, which makes the joints more flexible in preparation, and especially in the pelvis in preparation for the delivery. So that was my only concern. But like what you're saying, you just justified it. She knows what she can
Knows her
do.
body.
Ralph teaches exercise class.
I'm a
also,
certified fitness instructor.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what?
Yeah. and a prenatal nurse, apparently. I didn't know that.
Girl, I'm a doula and a midwife. too.
I didn't know that.
Okay, and
That's
toe
who,
popping,
isn't that who you want
tiara.
staring at your vagina right before you have your baby?
toe pop it, toe pop it.
Toe pop it.
Tiara, tiara.
Wow. So when you say hotties also, how many other, you're the main hottie, but are there a consistent group of girls or not girls, ladies?
Well, whatever. Girls, ladies, women. What do you mean as far as contributing?
No,
or
well, on your new show that you're going to be doing.
Oh, yeah,
that
exactly.
That will be coming to ESPN. No, well, somewhere.
Somewhere.
Let's put that out there. But is there a set cast of
Yes.
hotties?
There's a set cast of hotties. Now, let me say this: the name of the pilot spinoff has a different name
Right.
in the magazine. So the HOTTIESHandbook.com is really just for the magazine. The show is patterned after all which is HOTTIESHandbook.com.
Got it.
But it has a different name. But all the ladies on the show, hopefully once we get picked up or
Sure.
once we move
Right,
on
got it.
next year, we'll still be a part of the cast.
And you each.
And there's three of us, me and then two other ladies.
And you each cover your own sort of thing,
No.
or is it just a together?
Well, it's together. One of my hosts' name is Megan. She actually works for Fox Sports 1 as their roadster.
Okay.
Really cute girl, really cute young lady. She actually was a majorette at Purdue.
Wow.
So we had that in common. Megan her expertise is more NASCAR, but she again went to Purdue and she is a roadster
Danica
for
Patrick.
Fox Sports 1. So
Okay.
she knows her NASCAR. So
Olivia Summer.
that's her little
Right.
niche. One of my other co-hosts' name is Renee, and she covers ESPN sidelines. And so she was a Broncos cheerleader. So she's really
Wow.
she's right now probably watching the Broncos and the Cowboys
You're
go
right.
toe to toe right now. But her little niche is the NFL, and then I love college football, of course. But we all have our own niche, but we all can also talk all the sports.
That's good.
And then we also have an in-studio male correspondent whose
Okay.
name is Danny, and we have celebrity guests. We talk about everything from NASCAR to UFC to football
How about
to
boxing?
hockey.
Any boxing?
well,
Because that's such a huge. I'm finding out. That I don't follow boxing, but especially around the
I do.
celebrity,
do you follow boxing? Yeah.
Yes.
Who do you-
especially what. You're so full of shit.
Is he lying to me?
You don't even.
You're lying to me.
You watch
Steven.
Oscar De La Hoya, but that's about it. But no, in the celebrity world,
Yeah.
that tends to be a big thing that celebrities tend to go to Vegas for or whatever.
Exactly. Well, it's kind of like the glamorous thing to do. Is like
Watch people beat
Floyd
each other.
Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather.
Watch them beat each other
See,
up.
I know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
He has
Yeah,
brought
all right.
so much glamour and glitz to such a
Working
gory
on his last
sport.
contract,
You
right?
know, you know
Right?
about
He got about
that.
6 more fights to
That's
go.
right.
Oh,
You
okay.
know,
Bam!
I-
Boom! 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 Boom!
I'm impressed. You know your Floyd
I
stats.
back up on that then. Pardon me.
But yeah, like Vegas and boxing, especially when it has to do with Floyd, always brings this pageantry and this big, lively, somewhat of a circus to
Right.
the ring, which I think is good for boxing because now MMA seems to be taking over. So I think that boxing needs to keep. I mean, as much as I hate to say it, some people find Floyd to be too flashy.
Right.
But I think the flashiness is what's bringing
in the box
glory
well,
back
not
a little
the
bit.
money.
Right, he's a
The
great
money.
showman.
Right.
Oh, geez,
Right.
yeah.
It's a lot
Great
of
showman.
money.
50 Cent's backing him now too. right?
And Justin Bieber, and
right.
you think, why is Justin Bieber hanging out with
he
Floyd
thinks he's
Mayweather?
black anyway.
Does he
by
think?
the way.
No, you think? I don't
know,
think he
drives
thinks
too
he's
fast.
I don't know. I'm not gonna. He's a baby. I'm not gonna criticize him.
And he's Canadian. I mean,
exactly.
And in the
Sorry,
MMA,
Canadians.
they have that one-arm fighter who has a record that I think is 10. He's won 10.
I think he's won 10. Yeah.
Steven's
yeah.
scared me now.
Amazing.
Because you pretended you
should
didn't
see
know
this
anything
guy.
about sports, and now you're talking about boxing.
Baseball.
Ralph is like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Ralph has checked.
Oh,
Ralph,
I always, I'm
Ralph's
very
watching.
honest.
Are you watching Sean Saves the World or something?
No, I'm just going through Erica's Hottie's Handbook website. No, whenever I don't know about anything, I just listen and learn rather than trying to pretend like, oh, yeah, why? No, I'd rather just learn from
I can appreciate
You just started that. That's good to know, Ralph. Thank you. Good to know going forward. Well, also, are you going to cover female athletes as well? Or
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a woman. I don't discriminate against women. It's really sad that women's sports does not get as much attention as it deserves. And it's really even sad that at colleges, even though we have Title IX, women's sports are still they're still so underattended.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's. I don't know. I can't pinpoint why we don't excel more when it comes to
I think it's
sports.
just sort of it's kind of reminiscent of a lot of part of society with women not being paid as much. Is it Diana Nyad, the swimmer, who just did the?
Yeah, she's like 63.
But see, she does that, and immediately there's haters starting to say that. You remember the controversy that came out that they felt she didn't actually swim the whole time, and
I wasn't sure if she swam the whole time. I was like, did she get in the boat?
I mean, so there's already people wanting to tear her down just because she finally did it. And just to Hollywood Boomerang, you know who her sister is, right?
No, I don't actually.
Joanna Kearns, the mother on Growing Pains.
Right.
Are you serious?
And I kind of remember back in the day when that show was on. Well, Diana's been a sportscaster for years, and I remember Joanna and she being on shows together. So for all of our entertainment, listeners out there,
that's
little
a
Growing
fun
Pains.
fact.
Yeah. So, on the acting side, now there's something we didn't talk about this, and I didn't know this when I was on the set with you. Now, weren't you part of a reality?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, and I have to be embarrassed to tell you, I watched that show because I watch all reality.
Okay,
on the CW.
It was on the CW,
and it was basically finding the next Scream Queen.
Well,
I mean,
no. It was not the Scream Queen competition.
No, that was another one.
That was not mine.
That's something different.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with people who
I watched that one too.
Okay, I watched some episodes too, but I wasn't on that show.
Tell us about this one.
The show that I was on was a competition very similar to Survivor. Sam Raimi, J.B. Instock, and Robert Taper were
some big people.
Some really big names behind it. They all have a history or a background in horror. And this was supposed to be the next Survivor. And unfortunately, we were put in the time slot against American Idol.
Right.
So it was the very first season, competition show up against American Idol on the CW. It's kind of like, okay, you're kind of destined to not come back for a second season. But whatever the case, the show was called 13 Fears Real. 13 Fears Real. 13 contestants were competing for a grand prize of $66,666. And basically, we had to endure gruesome, horrifying challenges to try to win the money. It's really interesting because I was very low key on the show. However, I know. If you watched the show, you would have thought I was the biggest bitch in the world. And
well, they make one. There's one on every show, and it's usually the black girl.
And it's so unfortunate.
Omarosa.
Seriously,
right?
I
mean, it's true.
It's
they
true.
edit it, right? They do the editing that way.
They make you look like they want you to look. And you know me, Jasper, and you guys are getting to know me. You guys are getting to know me out there. I'm a bitch sometimes. I mean, I can be a bitch, but in my audition, I was myself. I was upbeat. I was bubbly. I talked about having cheered. I mean, and then I get on the show, and they want to be like this girl. They want me to be the bitch.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not even the bitch in real life.
Okay, so people love to talk about reality TV, right? How many were you living? I can't remember. Were you all living together, or was that?
We were living together. And let me say this: a lot of people think. Well, first of all, a lot of reality television is skewed, is scripted. We were not scripted. When I tell you, whatever you saw on the show was really what happened.
You didn't have producers whispering in your ear,
no.
like, let's do that again.
We really didn't.
Right, no, I'm saying.
I mean, Scouts Honor, whatever. How do you do Scouts Honor? I don't know. But whatever it is, we were completely Is this it?
Work it
I'm
out.
like-
Scout.
Okay.
Eagle Scout.
Okay, work
Right
it out,
here.
Stephen.
I was a
You
brownie.
are
Do you remember
hilarious.
brownies? Yeah.
Okay, I love brownies.
I was a brownie.
I wasn't. Can I do that if I wasn't a scout?
Okay.
Whatever.
America knows.
Okay, well.
But yours was real.
It was totally real. We lived together in a little shack in New Orleans, in Louisiana, obviously. During the summer months, it
hot,
was
humid
hot,
mosquitoes.
humid. We were barely eating. I think I lost like 14 pounds.
But then you were invisible.
I will.
You were transparent. Nobody could see you.
It was crazy. Like, we were not being fed a lot. It was like Survivor. I mean,
Right.
it was like Survivor. And each time, well, basically, we had to figure out who the killer was. So there was a killer. You remember?
I remember. It was a good show,
It
actually.
wasn't okay.
No,
It
it
was
really
not
was.
bad.
The premise was cool. I mean, it was interesting.
It was very creative, and each time there was a new killer, the guests, they called us guests, the contestants had to figure out who the killer was, based on behavior, based on just random things. And if you accused a killer of being a killer and you were wrong, then you had to go to execution. And if you survived execution, you got to come back. But if you accused the killer and you were right, then the killer was gone. Long story short, I lasted to the very last episode.
Yes. You were in the finals.
I was the final. I was the second runner-up, so the third place. Second runner-up sounds
I actually
better
told
though.
Ralph. I remember. I thought you won. That's why I can't. That's how good she was. I thought
Yeah.
she won. I didn't even remember the winner. I told Ralph you won.
I
so.
was really good because I ended up in the bottom 3 times, and so each time I got to the execution round, I always survived. So America hated me, and that was my very first dose of, I guess, being somewhat of a celebrity and realizing that people in America think they know you and they really don't.
Oh my God, you're like the Black Miley Cyrus.
No, I wish I had Miley Cyrus's twerk money, but not quite. But yeah, people hated me, and I was just like, So
Now,
this
was
is not
this
fun.
were you? Did you get that after you had moved here, or did you get that
as soon as I moved here?
That was right away.
Right away.
Now,
Yeah.
Erica, I want to know.
Things right away. Bam.
That,
I know, I
but that
love it.
happens a lot, right?
I want to
Yeah.
find what were one of the when you were sent to the execution. What did you have to endure?
My very first execution, I was tied to a tree, black person on a tree. There
I drug you
go.
across the floor, so don't worry.
Oh yeah, you too. Oh God, we gotta tell them about
We'll
that.
talk
Oh,
about
yeah, well, I
that.
wanna hear that.
No, go
Erica.
ahead. Go ahead about being tied to the tree.
I was tied to the tree, and like literally with my hands were tied with a rope, and I was blindfolded and tied to a tree all the way around, and so we had to free ourselves from the tree, and the person to do it first won. And then my second execution, I was tied to a stake, a burning stake, and blindfolded again. Our hands were tied with a lock, and we had to figure out the password. And we had to figure out the password to undo ourselves from the lock. And then another execution, we were put in a room of snakes.
Oh, that one I remember.
And we were put in straight jackets. But by this point, I had lost like 10 pounds.
So it wouldn't even fit.
And it wouldn't even fit. And I just squirmed right on out, and I ran right on out. And the producer's like, we think that Erica's cheating. And I wasn't. I was just getting so skinny. I was able to like get out of every situation. It was crazy.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Well,
But how did you figure out the password on the lock? How do you do that?
Well, I love letters and I love words, and
I love that as a black person, she actually ran from the snake room and
Oh,
didn't die.
please.
Because
Not
white folks
die.
always die.
No, we go back in. We
Y'all
get
go
out
back
and then we go
in.
again.
Y'all sit there froze and stuff. Black folks, we run.
That's right.
Yes, I was out of there, and that's funny that you ask about the words. The third location that we lived was an old fort, and they wrote words all over the room in the fort, and they told us the mastermind, who was the bad guy who gave us our instructions throughout the day, was like, make sure you pay attention to the words on the wall. You will need them. But we had no idea what we would need them for, because of course everyone didn't go to execution, so everyone didn't need them.
Wow.
So you just had to make sure that you paid attention to the small details every time you went somewhere. And so
active
I just remember the letters and the words, because I'm a letters person. And so even like riding down the street, like I'll look at words, I scramble words up, I change them around, and so that's just what I do.
Right.
And I do
numbers. I do
spell
that with numbers.
I spell words backwards.
I do that too.
To see, just
Yeah. Can you do it?
like Erica,
Nothing. Yeah.
Erica, Asira, something like that. But that's so impressive. But the snakes, that's scary.
I'm curious. What was your audition? I mean, what was the process of getting on this show?
My audition was a lot of fun, actually. My casting directors were Alicia Good from Damn Good Casting. Do you know Alicia?
I mean, I haven't met her, but I know the name and know who she is.
Alicia Good was my casting director, and Jackie Pittman. Literally just had to talk to the camera, talk to the casting directors, tell them about yourself, tell them about myself. It was really easy. It was just like, hanging out with my girlfriends. And I was myself. I talked about cheering and dancing and having just graduated from college. I mean, I was fresh off the boat.
But you didn't really know what you were getting into, right?
Well,
or did they explain it well?
Well, Alicia explained to me it would be a great opportunity, and she name dropped, Sam Raimi, JB and stuff, and I, looked it up or whatever, and I thought, okay, Evil Dead, Survivor, you can't really, The Apprentice, you can't really go wrong with that.
Right.
And I don't think that I would have done it if it hadn't been a competition.
Right.
I'm not. There's nothing wrong with reality television at all. I watch it too.
Yeah.
But I think that you have to be selective about what you want to do, depending on what you want to do.
This had prestige
in your career.
around it because of the producers.
Because of the names, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel? Did it help your career making it to the finals? Who won? Where is she?
So actually, a guy won. There were three guys, two
See,
guys.
I don't
and
remember
me.
him.
Yeah, a guy named Ted won, and then the runner-up was a black guy named Nasir. So white guy won, black guy Nasir, and then me. Not that it matters. I don't know why I said that.
Well, kind of probably does, but
okay, there you go. Neither of them is pursuing a careers in entertainment. I think.
Wow.
Yeah, neither is, but. We did a little bit of press, like a lot of local press, but nothing too major.
Right.
This was like 2009, so it's 4 years ago. I mean, I guess it was before the Twitter and the Facebook age became
before it was really
prolific.
became super. Yeah, exactly.
But you don't find, I mean, it hasn't really hurt or helped in terms of your acting.
Not really. I mean, I
if
think
people knew it and they liked it, they'll bring it up. But it's not something that.
So it kind of just boils down to it was another job.
Pretty much. I mean, it was fun.
But it's probably built. You got a lot out of it as just a person and going through that experience.
I think the one major thing that I did learn and take away from it was that, once I do get my huge break, I cannot be, I guess, strayed or affected by what people say, because again, I was so young, and you read all these blogs and you look at celebrities.
We've talked about this,
and my mom's always taught me, you can't judge yourself based on how people judge you. But when you're reading the blogs and the whole world is calling you a bitch and they hate you, and you're like, I didn't even do anything.
That's right.
It's kind of tough, and so that was the one lesson that I think that I learned then. And I tell myself maybe I did not get my big break from that, because I still needed to learn those lessons and to be able to be okay with whatever celebrity
brings. And it's all
brings.
part of the journey.
So,
it's a journey along the way. And we talk about, Ralph and I talk about, I always say different levels, different devils. Because, as actors, we always think, when I get that series, everything, I'm going to make it. But then you get on a series, and then you're dealing with the network and the producers and the fans who hate you and the people who blog about you and stuff like that. So it's you have to stay true to yourself, basically.
That and the other wonderful thing that I hear is, you may have already gotten your big break. That made, like Savage Sisters, right? It's something that comes to you downstream. So you very well may end up with Sam Raimi.
That's true. That's a good
well,
point.
It could be a project
Sam
in
is
development.
doing,
you know what I'm saying? Like
point.
your career already shows with the movie with him that you're getting downstream, and this is where Hollywood is. It takes 5 or 10 years on cycles, and all of a sudden that thing you did.
Well, like you said,
back in the
it's
day.
a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah,
I wanted to segue into. I'm just curious, when you auditioned for Savage Sisters, and then when you said nothing came of it and you thought, okay, well, I guess that project was scrapped. When you did how did you get notified that the trailer was happening? What was that for you?
It was crazy. Literally, I was washing clothes on a Sunday, and the casting director, Megan,
still attached
me,
to it.
Still attached. I was like, really? Like, I don't know if you guys out there are believers, but I was like, look how God works, because like I think about that project a lot. I really do, because again, it was my first theatrical booking, and she emailed me, and I was like, oh my God, she's like, are you still interested? And I was like, hell yeah, I'm still interested. And we just exchanged emails for maybe a week or two, and then she passed all my information, my new information, on to Dan,
the director,
writer. And the writer, the creator of Savage Sisters. And
they'll change the name.
I'm sorry.
Savage Sisters.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about Megan is that I went in for I did a print job for her like a year ago. That Jesus thing, remember, with Ace Young?
That was great.
And I didn't remember. She's the one that said, Jasper, whatever, do you think that movie will ever come back? I said, it doesn't matter. I already put it on my resume anyway. Do you know I've had that on my resume since I got cast in it? I put it on my resume. I thought, fuck yeah, I've already. So how bizarre that also bizarre that we were even available. I don't know what that says about my career. Right. No, but I'm just saying that no, but
I had that same thought.
No, I'm
but
just
that's
saying
not true, Jasper.
That I think everyone was original except for one of the I can't remember her name.
Amazon or
Lede.
Lede.
I don't think Lede was there from the beginning.
She said that she was.
Oh, she was.
Yeah, she said she was. So.
Oh no, I'm sorry. The other
Danae.
Danae, I don't think was.
Lede and Danae.
Lede.
That's why I can't remember. I remember Amazon, but yeah. So basically, 4 of us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's actually, there's my brother and a father too.
Oh yeah, as a part of. But
that wasn't in the trailer.
Yeah.
So that's just another example of this business, how things actually do come back around.
I was just curious. It's because it's a big gap, and after that long, it's just. It's a nice memory, and then to get that email from Megan, like, really, is this true? It's like, that's really nice.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Well, Dan, apparently, it was right. That was 2008.
2008.
And it was right when the stock market crashed and the financial situation. He had his money, had his investors, and then the bottom fell out. So God bless him that he hung in there, right? Yeah. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to continue with the lovely.
Stay.
Yeah,
great.
Ralph's leaving, but Erica is staying. You're listening to On the Set with Jasper Cole, and we will be right back. Come back, Planet Eartha.
You're back on the set.
Woohoo! All right.
Yes.
Howdy. We are coming down to our final stretch here on the Set with Jasper Cole. Wow, the time flies.
It
doesn't
always
it?
goes by fast.
so much
Planet
fun.
Eartha, we are having so much fun with Erica Renee Davis. She is absolutely fierce.
Fiercely beautiful,
Oh, thank you.
smart, and she can twirl a baton. Do
right.
not F with her.
That's right.
Do you do the fire batons?
I used to in high school. We did a few times, but I mean, in college we didn't do it. When I was in college, they wouldn't let us do it on the field, but now the girls do.
Because it might
do
catch on
it.
fire? Or
Well,
they didn't care about you burning, just
no,
not the grass.
yeah, just not the grass. But now they have all these safety precautions, and they make sure that the gophers take care of the
Oh,
baton. So
okay.
yeah, we have a lot of fire baton twirlers at Georgia, University of
Well,
Georgia.
speaking of majorettes, let's say hello back to our special guest host, Mr. Stephen Grove Malloy.
Yeah.
Hey
Go
there.
Floyd Mayweather.
Look it
Mayweather in the house.
Thank you.
Oh, God, we are all chameleons here.
We do
just
whatever
go
we
in
can to
it-
get
yeah.
a check.
You know?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But that's what it's about now, right?
It
And
is.
with reality TV, the webisodes, what you're creating for
Yep.
yourself. We're all making these new niches for ourselves.
true.
And wasn't it you that said you can't sit around waiting for a job, or was that somebody else I read that from?
I don't know if I
That wasn't
said
you.
that.
but
She'll take it.
But you can't.
Yeah.
I'll claim that. I'll
Okay.
claim that quote. But no, I didn't say
because
that.
clearly you're not sitting around just waiting for the phone to ring.
Well, and I can tell you this, and I've been in LA for a while now, and I think that as I've matured and gotten a little bit older, I feel more confident knowing that, I can go on auditions, or I can book a job here or there. But I think the most satisfaction when I am creating, when I'm being creative,
Right.
and when I'm pouring my energy outside of what I'm going out for that my agent sends me on into what I'm actually creating. And I believe, just like all of you guys believe in everything that you're doing. You believe in your projects, you believe in your vision, but I just think there's something about really believing in your own vision that keeps you going. I can think back to times when I wasn't working on my own stuff and how I just depended on that phone call from my agent, depended on that booking. And even now, if I haven't booked in a couple of weeks and I'm still working on my own stuff, I still feel good about where I am.
Well,
And
don't
that's
you
the
think it makes
difference.
you? For me, it also I sometimes book more because I haven't put that much thought. I mean, not that I don't put. I take it seriously, but you don't go in the room just desperate and
begging for that job.
I think they smell that. They can sense that. I mean,
If
because
you're hungry.
the camera doesn't lie.
No, I mean,
so
although now I have a couple of big auditions this week that I would like to book.
Well, of course, it seems like the
Please.
ones we really want the most, or the ones we don't really care that much about, we tend to book. So.
Well, I wanted to segue in because in our in our show summary about you, Stephen, was you're very prolific and a very hardworking commercial actor.
Yes.
And in the press in the summary we said Stephen is going to tell us how to book a commercial, and that seems so elusive, and it seems so
Well, that's the key.
It
It is
seems so
elusive.
arbitrary,
It is.
and there's so many people. Just tell us, like you just had a Kmart callback, and tell Planet Eartha you got the call from your agent. Okay, Stephen, we have a Kmart call for you at 10 a.m. tomorrow.
You took a Xanax.
Blah blah
first.
blah. Tell us.
Called Jasper and said, "Mama's going down. Help her."
Well, now that we're talking about that, it's so interesting. went in for 2 things this week, but at one of them, at the casting office, they're like, do not discuss this audition.
Right.
And do not post anything on
happens a lot,
Facebook or Twitter. So
Right.
I like
I know.
and it's just very general in a general way. And then also I heard that some actor had posted while he was at an audition, and when they called him into the audition, they made him read the post, which was a
Was
negative
this for
post.
a theatrical or for
a commercial?
It was a negative post?
He made a negative post, and they were monitoring
About his
social
experience
media,
waiting or something?
waiting for the commercial. And so when he walked
Put
into
him
the
on blast,
audition,
didn't
they made him read the negative post.
Bam.
Wow.
So everything's kind of in a
First of all, if
general
you're gonna
way.
post, don't post negative.
Right,
I mean,
Right.
But my experience is this: like because this one is up, the Time Warner that I have now. I went in and during the audition, the session runner did a really great job of getting me on the note. A lot of it has to do with the dynamics in the room, because the piece was talking quite a bit, and they wanted some of the action in it, which you don't always get. A lot of times it's just the reaction. And then when I went back for the callback, the director started putting me through the paces, and I probably went through about 7 takes at least of the scene. And at one point, he just looked up at me and he says, "We're making it bulletproof for the clients." So and I just have a feeling. For me, it's an intuitive feeling. If the character is right and I feel right about it, and there's certain things I'll hear, cues, the way directors talk, and the ad agency talks during the session, then I can just relax enough to just let the process happen. But my coach, Daphne Eckler-Kirby, she said this to me many years ago. She was like, "Baby, you're going to have a hard time in this town." She goes, "Because really, Stephen, all it is it's your smiling face that walks through the door that day."
it's your job that day.
And that's been my experience. It's my smiling face that walks through the door that they say, "Okay, that's the guy. That's the guy off the storyboard. That's the guy now in the room. That's
And
the
it
guy
really
we
doesn't
want."
matter how
What I
good you
do.
are in the room. I mean, Kim Williams, one of the best casting directors, remember on the radio show, said 99% of the time, I mean, she's being a little facetious, but 99% of the time, the moment the person walks in the door, they've pretty much gotten the part. And even if they're not that good, sometimes they get the part, because they'll work with you because you have the essence of what. And I think clients see that the moment they play the tape back.
Yes.
Well, no, nowadays a lot of the clients are actually watching it
They're
live
watching
streaming
right
on
there
their
with you,
laptops.
right.
Now, what did you mean when you said at the first audition, put you on note? What does that mean?
Helped you get right on point
Right,
with the character.
they're adjusting you
Oh, I see.
to the note that they got from the director
Oh, gotcha.
or the clients about how they want the character to
I
be.
see.
So your session runner is critical sometimes. Well, all the time, but
Well, a lot of actors that will also, because I manage also, and I have some. They'll call me and tell me how much the session runner loved them, and I'm always like, that's fine, but he's basically putting you on tape. The client has to really love you too. But
The session runners that put the camera operator.
The one that works the
but
camera.
in commercials, you're right though. In commercials, unlike just like in a theatrical where it might just be the assistant putting you on tape, these men and women in the sessions, they do have a lot of say. I think they have a lot more pull.
They do, and they're also piped into the casting director.
Immediately.
So usually when
they're even telling them
that's happening. So if
change
you're
it
not
up a
aware of
little
that-
bit.
Exactly. So the casting director, even though they're not physically in the room now in commercial auditions, they're just sitting down the hall in their
Or
office
behind the wall,
right?
in
And
next
they're
room.
actually monitoring what's going on in the session and making slight adjustments.
Because you've seen them come in, like I've seen them come in between 2 people, and I hear them say, "Oh, you know what? Just cut that thing at the top,
Exactly.
and whatever."
Exactly.
Well, I have a funny story. Do you know Michael Leon Woolley?
No.
Okay, he's a big black actor and very.
Don't
funny.
you all know each other?
Okay.
Is that what you meant?
We act like we do.
Right. Okay.
He played the plant in Little Shop of Horrors, and he has.
Oh yes, I know from
It's
New
a-
York.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, booming
I do know
voice.
him.
So he has a big
Yes.
booming voice,
Yes.
like real, and he has a big booming face, and he's so gregarious, and his
Yes.
smile is like yours,
Yes.
really big.
He's wonderful.
So I just saw this post that he put on Facebook. It's such a and they were doing doing a seminar or something, and there were 5,000 people in the audience, and he was at Comic-Con. I guess they were doing cartoon.
Yeah, because he was
voiceover.
the voice of the frog in one of these great animated movies.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
And he's
Little
with
Mermaid, maybe.
Yeah.
he's with Atlas, and so he was on the panel. And the story is he gets the call, and he goes into the booth, and they're saying, "Okay, so listen, Michael, we need you to be very white." And so Michael's like, "Well, okay, I'll do what I can and stuff. And he only had 4 words, but I'm just going to make it up and just say, like, this is a cookie. So when they said action, he was like...
They didn't say Jamaican.
He was like, this is a cookie. And they were like, okay, Michael, let's just try it again. But we really need you to be, very white. Okay, I'll try it again. This is a cookie. And he looked through the booth and he said, oh my God, the ad people, the casting directors, they were all getting physically upset. And he was like, I don't know what to do. And they walked into the booth. He said, Michael, what are you doing? He goes, I'm so sorry. This is as white as I can be. Not very white, very white. And he did it again. It was like, this is a cookie. And it was like, and thank you. So it was just
and
a funny
scene.
And scene.
Right.
So it was just a funny story of just a matter of
That's
just
funny.
Instead of hearing Barry, he heard Barry.
Right.
So you've done commercials,
I've
Erica,
done some commercials.
right?
Yeah, I have. I've done Target, K-Swiss. I won't go on and on because
Right.
list available upon request.
Right. Yeah. Well, so I don't know.
Sklar Brothers?
Huh?
She worked with the Sklar Brothers too.
The twins?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't think so. The light-skinned twins with the wait. What are you talking about?
No, the other twins, the comedy.
Oh,
twins.
you're talking about Carla. We were mentioning
Right.
her.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
The spot that he has that's running for Time Warner. They're these 2 twin comedians that are on Chelsea Handler a lot.
Okay.
Sklar
But
twins
that
were
that's
wonderful.
another friend of mine,
Okay.
Carla. She
Okay.
just got another spot. They have a series of them.
Okay.
But what I was going to say is, I don't know your experience, but like sometimes though, what happens, when you get on the set and you're starting to shoot the commercial, it's totally different
It is.
than what I did in the
It
audition.
is.
Even when I was in Mexico doing the Boston Pizza thing, I remember the ad agent, they were all down the hill because we were up a hill, and this poor director, he literally, could someone just give him walkie-talkie? Every take he'd have to go down the hill, and they'd play it back, and he'd come back. But it was not anything what I did in my audition.
Yeah.
So sometimes they change it up on you.
They do.
It's just I can remember my very first. I didn't even start doing commercials till about 2005. About 2006 is when I first started doing commercials. Because originally I was a very serious
CBS?
actor, and I wasn't going to do any commercials. I was only going to do films. And be
I was your
lawn
manager then. I
Right.
remember.
So I'm like living in North Hollywood as usual. I'm broke. I don't have a car or something. And I get a call from my agent at the time. Stephen, they need to see you in Santa Monica. Danielle Eskenazi, who's a wonderful commercial casting director, needs to see you in Santa Monica. And I'm like, for what? And she's like, Toyota. I had never even gone out for the spot. And she's like, she just wants to see you right now. And so I ran to the train, the red line. I couldn't get on it. There wasn't one happening for 10 minutes.
Stephen
I came
is
back
a reality
upstairs.
show. There should be
Right.
a reality show.
Enterprise rent a car, can't rent me a car. I see a cab. I catch a cab, and because it's 2 of us in the cab, he can take the fast lane to get down to Santa Monica. We make it. I literally walk in, I say what I'm supposed to say, and I book the spot.
Yep.
Nice.
That was like my very
That's
first one. I never even went to an audition. They just called me straight to call back because I guess my agent sent in my picture or something, and I walk in the room and I get the spot.
Yeah.
Because you were the look from the
Yeah.
storyboard,
Something
presumably.
I had never met them. I had never seen them. It was the first time they were seeing me, the client, everybody. I just walked in the room. Hey guys, I'm here. Oh, okay. Say your line, Stephen. All right. Walk out. Get a call a few days later. You got the spot.
Nice.
Wow.
Well,
Didn't
don't
even
you-
audition. Nothing.
Don't
So
you think
it's-
now, especially and this back to the ethnicity of commercials, and I feel like since Obama first was put in office in 2008, thankfully I see more and more African American families on commercials. I mean, for me, I notice it. Like I was speaking to a girlfriend of mine who's black, and she was like, I don't really notice it, but I notice it. But again, it's back to what type. Let's see.
Right.
Yeah, we had this conversation.
We had this
on
conversation.
set.
We got into the light skin, dark skin, but also what type.
What's
You know,
Right.
Yeah, I
Right.
think, and maybe tell me, Stephen, if I'm wrong, but I think that I don't know about the whole Obama effect in commercial world so much, but I think that when it comes to darker skinned men in the industry, I think you guys might book more than darker skinned women. But maybe with the Obama effect, maybe we are seeing more darker skinned women than we were seeing before, because
think
before,
so.
you know, there was
The advertisers were afraid of it.
yeah.
And now I think the advertisers see that America voted this man in
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah, true.
And
good
it's just
point.
interesting. If you just start noticing, even,
Yeah.
I mean, just in terms of like, there's one right now with the biracial family. The little girl, the father is Cheerios, and he puts the family. That got a little controversy.
So
but
ridiculous.
in general, and I was watching one yesterday. I mean, the good thing is you just watch them now, and you don't go, "Oh, that's a black family."
Right.
You know, it's just.
I think it's really new. I noticed Banana Republic as you come into West Hollywood on that big billboard. There was a black model, and I've never seen Banana Republic Gap, that whole corporate culture use
Gap
an African American male model like that. Like that blew my mind. It's 2013.
Wow.
The other thing is I went on an audition recently and I had a white wife. That has only happened
they're
to
doing
me
the
two
interracial
times.
more.
That has only happened to me 2 times in my career. The Walmart, and the thing that was really funny was all of us were sitting out front. We were Asian and black and Latino, and we're like, what is going on? Are you my wife? No, you're not. Right? Like we were freaking out more as actors that they were considering that. And the same thing happened just a couple of weeks ago for a spot. I was stunned. Like, wow.
So in your opinion, what is the validity? How beneficial are commercial classes? Commercial acting class. Would you recommend for an actor, like, take a commercial acting class? Does that benefit you when you go to Daniel Eskenazi and you're just thrown into the room? Do you bring any technique from taking a commercial class to that audition?
Well, I say no, but that's
I'm very lucky that the coach I had when I first started, 1997 was the first time I took any acting lessons, and that coach in San Francisco introduced me to her coach here, who is a genius and booked over 100 commercials, and Academy Board member Daphne Eckler-Kirby. To take something from her is of great value because she knows how to win. There's a big difference between being an actor and doing acting and then knowing how to own the room, take the room, and win the room. And Daphne, for me, is like one of the best at, well, how do you win the spot? There's a difference, you know. She teaches you the whole process of from hello to how you handle yourself in the room, the etiquette of it, so that you feel confident through the whole process. So if it's that, then yes, I think it's a value to you.
And that's probably something that you can take not only for commercial auditions, but of course for the theatrical and hosting auditions and
because
appearances or whatever.
Right, exactly. Because I remember one time I called her back. I said, everything you taught me just happened in the room today. It was a great theatrical
See, I think also because I'm the old one in the room, I've been doing commercials since 1987, and I've seen it go from not real people. Commercials used to be characters and caricatures. And you hit right about the year 2006, 2007 when everything turned. And I started booking more because they wanted real people. They want you to come in looking like the father. Remember Ralph's old enough. Remember the commercial composite sheets, and you'd have the glasses on. And a lot of actors still think they're supposed to go in and perform in a commercial.
No.
And I think in general, my take is you do always less is more. They just want you to be that person.
Easy. I just call it, you just got to be easy. And so those things, to your point, if you have a teacher who's teaching you the whole picture, I think, yes. If you're brand new, then yes, it has value because you need to understand some degree of structure. But most of it is just...
And being real.
Yeah, my coach at Pacific Resident Theater, Marilyn Fox, the artistic director, she said it best. She goes, the best actor... Who do you think is the best actor? And everybody was saying this and that. She goes, no. She goes, the best actor is the actor who can relax the most.
Right.
And it's true.
Well, even on the slates, you notice sometimes if you ever have to go in with a group of actors,
you can tell.
Yeah, my friend who produces commercials told me he is literally, and I know my personality as a producer, if someone comes in and starts really performing during their slate, I mean, I know I've already written them off, and I don't care how good they were, because I think on the set, they're going to be a nightmare. They're going to be on.
How do they overperform during the slate?
Oh, you wouldn't believe sometimes. Some people like, yeah, or they'll make some ridiculous funny joke, or they try to be funny, and it's just so obviously bad that you just go... And then they might do a brilliant job on the spot. Like, they might hit it, and they might hit every point. But my friend was like, do you think we're really going to hire that guy? We won't hire him because he's so annoying. Like, we can see his annoyance right on his slate.
Well, one thing I always found frustrating, because I don't go out on commercials a lot, but back in the day, when you're talking about the composite sheets, when you would be going to get your headshots, and it's like, plaids are in this year. You really need to take photos with plaid on, and then that went out, and it's like you need to be wearing stripes
or glasses.
Or glasses, and take the lenses out so you don't have a glare when you take your photo.
Oh, we just really aged ourselves.
But when you like your headshot going on commercials, what are you wearing in your headshot that they are
bustier?
What thumbnail are they choosing when they see you, when they call you in?
I probably have about 10 pictures up. So I give my agents options. I believe for me, it's their tool. So everything I do is I believe I'm the owner of the business, so I'm responsible for the business. The agent owns their own business. We're just working together to hopefully make money. So my job is to help you make money. So the tool that's all it is a tool. So I give them like about 10 different options or looks, and so they can play with it. Suit and tie, casual guy, more dad, more business, more serious.
Teacher.
Yeah, some people don't do that. Some people just have a couple, which I think is cool too. Because basically casting directors know you.
They get to know you just like theatrical.
Right, and so they're going to call you. They're only going to call you in for those things that they think you're right for. If you're kind of goofy, then you go in for those things. So it doesn't take long before
they find your niche.
Your niche.
Okay.
Yeah. The other thing too, I think particularly in commercials, is commercials for me, that has nothing to do with acting. It's the client. So it's what Ford wants.
Right.
It's what Kraft Foods wants.
That's right.
It's what Marlboro Cigarettes wants. It has nothing to do with me. If I walk in the door that day and I'm what those marketing people want, then bingo, that's it. If I'm not what those marketing people want, they're not even, and you see that, particularly on commercial sets, you go there and it's a great job for you, but ain't nobody paying attention to you.
No.
You just need to show up, hit your mark.
You're the
do
product,
your job.
basically.
Right.
Yeah.
And when they look at you, it's so funny, they look at you, are you presenting yourself the way that they wanted you to present yourself? They're not focused on, they don't know your name.
Right.
They're
We're
not
so
even really interested
and
in
we're
your
very
name.
replaceable.
Right,
also.
replaceable.
That's why a lot of times we're on a veil for commercials, and because we don't know we're on a veil with 6 other people.
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, listen, the time is flying. I don't know where it's going, but Erica, thank you so much. So again, tell everyone where they can find. Are you want to be stalked on Twitter and Facebook?
I want to be stalked everywhere, all day, every day.
Yes.
But most importantly, I want to be stalked on my website. It's HOTTIESHandbook.com, HOTTIES handbook.com. My Twitter for Hottie's Handbook is just, I know, is Hottie's Handbook. My personal Twitter is Erica Renee D. Our Facebook fan page for Hottie's Handbook is facebook.com/Hottie's Handbook to Sports.
Right. And we'll be keeping our eyes and ears open for the news coming up on the TV version of with a different name.
Yes.
And congratulations on that.
Really, Erica.
Yeah, let's give it up for Erica Renee Davis.
Looking out. She is fierce, Planet Eartha. And it'll be fun to see the Savage Sisters trailer.
Yes, we're gonna make that movie. Yeah.
We're making the movie next year, and we probably will do the festival circuit, and then honestly we'll be in, I don't know, the big screens probably in a year and a half.
I love it.
We'll be at a drive-in somewhere. There's one drive-in left somewhere. Speaking of drive-ins, Stephen Grove Malloy, thank you so much for coming in and joining it. You can do whatever you want with that. Just let that sit out there for a moment.
That resonate.
Hot dogs,
just let that marinate for a little while.
Okay. Rosebud, thank you for my
Rose,
fierce bracelet.
thank you always for being so sweet. Ralph,
thank you, Jack.
Thank you, audience.
No, I couldn't do it without you, Ralph.
Thank you, Jasper.
And our next show,
team.
we're back November 3rd, and we've got some good lineup for that. We always do. Meaning the show's not really booked yet. That's what we're really trying to say, but it will be.
And congratulations to you fellas too.
Oh,
and Ralph, your upcoming project and play.
Thank you very
so
much.
Which you didn't even tell me about. How rude.
Rude, I know. I was rude, and I still have a little bit of time.
Oh, here we go. Go ahead, say it, Ralph.
I'm currently rehearsing a play called Demon Slaying Drag Queens. That's going to be at Highways Performance Space for 2 nights only in November. And then you heard about the Man Chat show.
Plug that, Ralph. Give everyone where they can find Man Chat.
Man Chat is at tradiov.com. T-Radio V. It's radio in TV. So it's live streamed. It's a wonderful venue. And I am also slated. I'm currently in a short film called Dirty Talk. And Dirty Talk has been just an amazing
all
ride.
over the world.
It is international now. And a week from today's the 6th. Oh, a week from today, on the 13th, we will find out if we have won the $40,000 prize at the Iris Prize Festival in Cardiff, Wales.
Yes.
And right before I came here today, I found out we just won our 9th award in Roanoke, Virginia. So just like our show, our movie, Savage Sisters, when you were saying it'll hit the festival circuit, we're very proud of that. And then the director of that, Jeff Sumner, has written another short film called Jack that he wrote a part for me in, and we are going to have a lot of fun with that. We're shooting that at the beginning of January.
So I have a lot of 10% coming, right?
Yeah.
I am going to be. This is going to be just a rich
are going
Christmas
to be
for me.
$10 checks after $10 checks after $10 checks.
I'm
Because this whole $100 a day, but
Please.
you know,
That's all right.
That's a whole other show we'll get into.
But as we're talking,
30 seconds, Ralph.
My creative juices are really flowing, and I'm really happy
25,
about everything. Okay,
24.
good. And I'm out.
No, listen, everybody. Thank you, Ralph.
Yeah, thank you,
Ralph
Jasper.
is fierce. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back on November 3rd. And let's give it up again for everyone.
Yes.
Thank you.
Come back, Erica.
Yes.
Don't worry, I'll be
Thank
back.
you so much. And to Brian Russell.
With a baton, girl.
Brian
one in my
Russell, yeah, congrats on your book. And we'll keep everyone. Brian's going to come back in the studio.
Oh, right,
Yes. And so, listen, you've been listening to On the Set with Jasper Cole, and we will be back November 3rd.
Bye-bye, Planet Eartha.
Bye-bye.
Don't miss a minute of On the Set with Jasper Cole and get the inside scoop on everything going on behind the scenes in Hollywood.